Hey everyone, welcome to another Wednesday night hangout. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Liam. Those of you who do know me, welcome back. Those who are new, thank you for joining us. Um, the the system is open. Anyone can come and join in. Anyone can pop on the live stream. Anyone can ask questions in here and so on, and tell us what you're working on. So please feel free to come in and join. I just posted the link in the chat, and if I quickly go over to YouTube, I can actually make it a permanent link. So just give me one moment. So how's everyone doing? If you're out there and you want to come in and join me, please do so. I know we're competing with Jerry's 3D printing and painting right now. He's doing a stream, and that's okay. Jerry's on for the next hour. I'm on for the next 3. So if you're over on Jerry's stream, all the better. You can go hang out with Jerry, and when you get time, you want to come in and hang out with me, you're welcome to do so. So if anyone wants to come in and join the conversation, please click on the link there in chat. You are always welcome to do so. Jerry just went live. I'm actually watching his stream over here. So he's on there with Sean, a 3D Printing General, and they are having their they're doing an interview there. So don't forget, it's open to everybody. There's no restrictions on anybody want to come in. I think everybody's hanging out with Jerry, so I'll hang out for a small while and see what happens. But I actually think Jerry's actually doing a giveaway today, so it's I think they're giving away a printer today on his stream. We're eating dinner, Mylan. Well, you know you're always welcome to come in and join whenever you're ready. Let's see who else out there. So Gary said hi, howdy. Mylan saying hi to everybody again. Okay. So, for those who are out there, please remember to click on the like, subscribe, and ding that bell on YouTube. Those thumbs up really help the ratings, and subscribing and dinging the bell means you get notified when I go live. I do regular lives. I do hangouts every Wednesday. Since Chinese New Year, getting people to come on live and do interviews with me, which I used to do a lot more of, has been a bit harder. So I'm starting to build up a list of companies that I'm working on to try and get interviews with. So, but please feel free to come in, click on the link, come in and join the conversation. And Gary is still at the office, working hard to get a new printer. You mean you're on Jerry's stream? I know, I've seen you there. As I said, I have Jerry's stream running over here in the corner. So I know when you're hanging out over there, all's good. Hopefully you win. Part of me is hoping that the luck of the Irish is with me tonight, and I might actually win it. So, for those who haven't come in here before to join the conversation, the link is in there in the chat call for StreamYard. If you click on that link, you can actually join in the conversation here. But I would recommend before you do so, please mute your YouTube channel that you're watching right now before you click on the link, because if you join and you're already on YouTube in the background, we will actually get audio conflicts and it will cause a lot of noise and so on. So please mute your YouTube before you come in and join the conversation. So I'd like to know what everyone's working on. Let me know what projects you're working on. I have been doing some optimization of my Weedo IDEX printer. I did a bit of playing around with it, and I think I got it pretty good. That came off the bed today, and it came off really well. So we know dimensional accuracy is good, and we know the layers are actually, the layers looks really nice. We're gonna have a close up. The layer quality looks fantastic. So that worked out really well. Hey Michael, how are you? The link is there if you want to join the conversation. The numbers are a bit thin right now because some people are hanging out over in Jerry's stream, which is on for the next hour or so, and then they'll probably get some people from there that will come over and join us here, because Jerry and I share a very similar following group in many aspects. So I'm also going to start working on doing a full-sized droid build, like from Star Wars. That is one of my goals, to start doing that very shortly. I'm hoping to get going on it within the next couple of weeks, and then after that, I'm guessing it'll probably be about 6 or 8 weeks work to 3D print all the parts, and as well as that, painting and sanding, filling, and painting, because there is a lot of work. They're not single components. For those who just joined, the link to join the conversation is in the chat. It's a StreamYard link. If you do not see it, I can just repaste it. There it is there. If you can actually come in and join the conversation and hang out with me in here, talk about 3D printing, laser engraving, CNC, whatever you wish. It's pretty casual, laid back. It's all about sharing with the community. Yeah, so Michael, you admit, yeah, you're watching both at work. I'm wondering what work you're doing if you're watching both of them. So, anyone want to join in? No? Okay. Oh, one of my next projects as well as the droid is I have an SKR board, just a SKR Mini E3V2 board. I'm actually going to adapt this and put it into my CO2 laser. It's not designed for laser, but you can install smoothware on it, and I'm going to make this the controller for my laser, because right now the board that comes with the CO2 laser isn't fantastic. It works, but it's not great. But I want to get a better, higher quality board on it, so I'm planning to put this in place on my laser as well in the coming weeks, which should be a fun project. It requires some buck converters to step down voltage and so on, but shouldn't be so hard to get up and running. That'll be a nice project when I get that running. It'll be nice and quiet. Oh, so you're the boss. You do what I want. It's good to be the boss, Michael. It's good to be the boss. Let's see. Have a quick look at Jerry's stream. See how many people are over there. Jerry's stream is busy. So the droid project should be fun. And the calibration of the IDEX printer is also fun. It needs a few things in the firmware. Yeah, you're getting the cohesion board. That's nice. They're a very expensive board, Shane. I assume you're over at Jerry's stream as well, watching both of us at the same time. But yeah, the cohesion board are a nice board. They do cost a lot more, but they do have functionality you may or may not use, but still, they are nice boards. I don't think I could justify the cost. And since I had that board here for the SQR, I might as well use it for something, right? I don't have a printer I want to put it into, so I might as well use it for the CO2. Yeah, it is $200. Yeah, that's like the SQR probably costs you $60 or $70. The mini Gerbil board is probably about $70. So $200 is a lot of money. Is a fair, hefty price, because that's half the price of the CO2. I mean, I'm guessing you paid about $400 for your CO2, Shane. So you're probably half the price in again for a board, and that doesn't include your camera or anything like that as well, if you ever decide to put a camera into it. Can't watch two on a mobile. Yeah, well, are you? Yeah, you're not in class or anything, are you? Did you have to use your mobile, or are you on the road, old curmudgeon? Actually, I don't think you've been in stream. I don't remember you being in stream. Let's see. We're talking about uses of the stimulus checks. No, we're not. Well, if you want to, yeah, sure. If you get one, not everybody's getting one of those, so maybe if you want to use it for something like that, you could use it for you could buy a CO2 and get the higher end board, like the cohesion board or something into it. You already have a camera. That's nice. Does that? I hope it has got a wide-angle lens on it. Kitchen table, PCs in another room. Ah, okay. Well, we have 7 people out there watching right now. So if anybody wants to come in and join the conversation, the link is in chat. It's kind of hard talking to yourself. So, what did it say in the movie Braveheart? In order to converse with an equal, an Irishman is forced to converse with the Almighty, or something along those lines. Well, I'm not him, so. So what else is happening? Anybody got any projects? If you can't type it, you can. If you can't come in and join, you can actually type it into the conversation there, into the chat, and we can talk about it. Other than Noel Commodore just sitting at his kitchen table. What are they saying over there? Looks like everybody's over with Jerry at the moment, so I probably have an hour here without being pretty quiet. Yeah, you remember that line? Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was one of the early lines in the movie, actually, when the Irish guy actually came into the movie first. He was talking to himself. We don't all talk to ourselves. Well, I am right now, but what else is happening? Oh, did you see that on the 23rd, I believe? Let me just double check. I believe it's the 23rd. NASA are actually going to fly that helicopter on Mars. It's the 23rd, yeah, at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. They're actually going to release the helicopter, the quadcopter, on Mars, and probably do an initial attempt to fly. So that will be hovering. They will actually drop it below, and it will just come up and hover. Yes, that's another line in the movie. Hey, Chris, how are you? So that would be an interesting flight when they do that, to see if they can actually fly, because it's going to be the idea of is if they can get it to work, future missions will have larger quads or larger helicopters of some form, drones, as part of the mission, so they can actually fly further distances and actually maybe even do science, fly it into crevasses and gullies and so on, do science there, and maybe bring it back to the rover. So that is part of their goal, is to try and get there. So this is, and it will only last a month. The most it'll last is 1 month. But it's to prove the technology is true and it can actually work. So Chris, the link is in chat if you want to come in and join the convo. If you don't see it, let me know. Hopefully it's not a Zolan winter flight. I don't know if I get the reference. I know you'll have to explain that one to me, Shane. I don't think I was in the. I jump on Zolan streams, and stuff, but I don't remember that. A normal drone won't, but these drones are different. This drone has got. I know the atmosphere is only 1% of what we have here on Earth, but it's got oversized. Just 1 second. I'm going to bring somebody in. Hey, Mylan.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Good, and you?
Hanging in there.
But
another day.
Sorry?
I said it's just another day.
Yeah. We're just talking about the drone that's actually on Mars right now. Then it will work because the propellers are way oversized for something of its size and its weight. And the hope is that it'll be enough to give lift in 1% atmosphere. Now, it won't go very high in the atmosphere, because the higher you up, the thinner it gets. And when you go below 1%, you're probably going to run into issues. But the plan is that they're going to fly it for some distance anyway, at least. The first plan would be to hover it, take up, and then land. Then after that, it'll be to take off and travel a short distance and land again. And over time, they're going to increase the distances, but it's only designed to operate for 1 month. Now, in saying that, they say that you're only supposed to operate the rover for 2 years, and Curiosity's been running for the last 9. So if the drone is anything like Curiosity, even though they're not designed in the same way, it could last longer, much longer, and if it does, they'll use it.
That sounds cool.
Oh, he lost the drone. Okay. Well, maybe he should find another alternative than flying a drone then, Shane. Is there well, yes, gravity is a consideration, but it's a lot less than what it is here on Earth. Their biggest thing is you can overcome most gravity if you take into account enough vertical lift from the props. And in this case, gravity is lower, so your lift would be easier, but there's less atmosphere to give you lift, so that's why they're overcompensating with the larger propellers. And the propellers are rotating in the opposite direction, so one goes clockwise, the other goes counterclockwise, and the reason why is if you did one way only, it would actually rotate the whole drone. It would take off and spin it. It'll just rotate around the whole drone would. By having counter movement of the props, they actually stabilize each other, and so there's actually less rotation in the drone, and it's just basically tilting it to move in direction. Let's see here. It seems to be an EF to get. Yeah. It's about 1/6. Yes, it is. And there's no trees on Mars, so Zolan would have no problem flying in it. PID tuning by calculation sounds sketchy. I'm not sure what you mean. So, Mylon, what are you up to?
Finally got that other printer broken down to see what the problem was, and turned out to be the extruder motor. So it raised up. Yeah, it would just raise up, and I started working with it, trying to figure it out. So now I was trying to extrude some filament. No filament was coming out. So went ahead and put a brand new nozzle on it. No filament was coming out. Changed out the Bowden tube, changed out everything. So it's just the extruder motor, so I had to order a new one. So just waiting on that to come back and get that printer back together.
Yeah, but they're cheap though. Stepper motors are cheap.
Yeah, it was only like
$20,
$19.
Yeah. Let's see. I wonder if to stay under 400 feet. They will say way below that. I think the max they're planning to go to is 30 feet off the ground. I don't know enough about drones to know that, so I'm not into RC stuff. Not really. I'm probably going to get into it more because I'm building the droid, but it's going to be for the droid. I have a purpose behind my droid plan. I want to build a droid so when I do astronomy outreach and science outreach, I want a droid to lead the way. So if there's a group of people that I'm going to be doing a talk with, I want the door to open and the droid to walk in with the big NASA logo on it. And if I'm doing astronomy stuff, I'll be sitting with the telescope set up, and the kids come over to look about the telescopes. I want a droid to zoom up and down in front, up around, and drive around where the kids are, and get them all to freak out and geek out. There's an android driving around the area. That's what because that's interesting for them. I think find it's cool. They'll follow it around. They'll think it's a cool idea. So that's what I want to do, because the wow factor is good with kids. It really gets their attention. Okay, 1/6, not 0.6. Yeah, I knew there was a 6. So you have to tell me a little bit about PID flight control. I don't know anything about that. Do you know anything about that, Mylon?
No, I fly drones occasionally. I got a couple of them, but I don't know about the PID tuning though.
The only drone I've ever flown was these little toy ones my son would get when he was young, and it spent half its time crashing into walls and sofas and lampshades and stuff. So I kind of stopped. It's different when it's on the ground because I can drive. Well,
Yeah.
like my license says I can drive, so so I know that if I do this, it goes this way, and if I do this, it goes that way, and if I push forward, it goes forward. Right? That's
Yep.
I know how that works, right?
Now the dog likes it when the drones fly, so he likes to jump down and try and catch them in the house. So,
Oh, really?
oh yeah, he'll chase it till the batteries run out. Then I have to
We have
land at
somebody else
someplace where he
joining
can't
us.
get to it. Huh?
Hey, old curmudgeon. First time.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, you'll have to let me know if my Bluetooth's playing nice. Sometimes it doesn't.
No, it sounds good. This is your first time on stream with us.
And I just got company.
Oh, that's good. Little puppy. And old,
Yeah,
an
mine's
older
asleep
puppy
right
too.
now.
She's only like 5 or 6.
Yeah? She's getting gray around the face.
Yeah, she did that the first year after we got her.
Oh.
And they told us she was a year old and her stitches from being fixed were still fresh. So I guess she was.
Cool. Now, my dog's upstairs, but my dog is too big to sit in my lap. She's a shepherd. She's a
My
shepherd.
dog's too big, but he still tries.
Oh, no, she won't actually, no. But when she wants your attention, she puts her paws up on you, and it feels like a person sitting on you. She's so heavy. She's about 90 pounds.
If this kicks me out, I'll be right back. I'm still hearing the stream in the background.
Oh, if you're hearing the stream in the background, you probably have. Yeah, you paused.
Yeah,
you're back again. Go. Yeah.
Yeah, but, I had to use the task switcher.
Mm-hmm. But the so what are you working on?
Right now, I need to get to the hardware store to get a couple of 1/2-inch wood dowels and see if my print will fit properly.
What is this for?
Under cabinet mount for my wife's camera or her phone while she's doing her YouTube videos.
Oh, okay. Cool.
When she's cutting stuff on the chopping board, it shakes the camera with a tripod on the counter. So.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna use some command strips and stick this up under the cabinet. I've already made a little. Where's the camera? There it is. Swivel ball with a screw clamp on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know it's black. That's worst color in the world to use.
Yeah, cool. Is that PLA?
PETG.
PETG, nice. It looks like good quality too. You got a really good finish on it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. This piece actually printed right off the bat. It's the top of the pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, I'll put this. See if I can do this. First time I have ever made a piece with a ball on it like that for a twist lock.
And it worked.
And it fit first time.
Yeah, and twist locks are fine because there's not much of it coming out the side. So you don't have much of an overhang, so you can actually print without supports.
Right, no supports needed.
Yeah. Yeah, mine don't ever think they're lapdogs though. My one is too big. The only time she ever comes, she doesn't come up on the sofas. If she really wants your attention, because she knows she's not allowed up there, right? So, but she wants your attention, she'll come up and sit beside you to say, "I need you. You're ignoring me, and I need you. I need to go out. Get up off your butt. I'm sitting beside you to let you know this." So that's what she does.
Well, you've seen what my bonehead does. He likes to come up and start pawing on me, sticking his head on my shoulder.
Yeah, well, they like being around you, so you know.
He gets jealous when I'm talking to somebody and it's not him. If the phone rings, he's looking at the phone. I'm talking to you guys. He gets jealous.
Well, it's just the two of you though, most of the time, right?
Yeah.
So that's why he gets jealous because someone else taking their attention away from them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to switch the camera around, but here's the other. Can't work backwards. The windowsill clamp that I sent you a picture of with the adjustable mount.
That's very nice.
That's nice.
And that was revision 1, but we realized she needed a pivot, so I designed up a pivot.
Sweet.
Where's the other? Oh, and let's see. This is a redesign of a piece that I found on Thingiverse that was too thin. So I redrew it in Fusion, and it fits a standard shoe.
Oh, nice.
So now I'm designing everything around that.
Yeah. Fusion, you may not always find the perfect solution, but you'll find ideas that actually you can modify to make it work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know a Fusion expert. I know I can figure stuff out. That's a good thing about having an IT background. If you don't know how something works, just play with it for a while because you'll figure it out, right?
Yeah, eventually.
I need to flip this around the other way because my hand keeps getting in the way.
Yeah. So it's kind of fun that you can actually do that. And that's the nice thing about having printers as well. You can come up with ideas and make stuff work.
Yep.
Is it the camera mount?
Like this little bracket right here to mount my stepper motor to my telescope.
Oh, okay? What scope do you got?
Let me see here.
So you put a stepper motor on it so you could have side reel rate, right?
Yes. I can get things squared away here. Also printed off one of these things, but I have yet to use it.
The batten off mask.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I use them all the time. But the one thing I'm planning to do, there's two ways to do focusing. For manual, a batten off mask is great. But there is another way of doing it if you're using a computer.
Where is it?
And it's using full width half max to analyze the image and split and then use that for focus.
That's probably upside down, isn't it?
It is upside down, yeah. It's an F.
SELSI.
It's an F6, is it?
It's 910 by 80.
910 by 80, but that's an F5 then, I think it is. Is there a focal ratio number?
Oh, no, not on this thing. It's old. Probably older than I am.
So it's an 80 millimeter?
Uh-huh.
1 second now.
Now, I did find a company out in California that had an adapter I could screw into this thing to change it from the 0.9 to the 1 1/4, so I could use better eyepieces and prism.
Yeah, so you have an 80 millimeter, and how long is the telescope?
I think he froze again.
Oh, are you there?
Hold on, guys. I'll be right back, guys. Someone's here.
900.
So it's an 80 millimeter and it's 900 millimeters long.
Yeah.
That is my thing is hanging up.
Yeah, I got to be careful down here. The Wi-Fi signal's kind of low, even though it shows good on the phone.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me find what I'm looking for.
And the makerspace, such as it is.
Oh, let me see. How many
just that one.
Do you have?
Let me back up a little bit.
That's one. You got one printer? What is that? Is that a Soval? No, it's not.
That's the original Ender 3 Pro before they did all the other stuff to it. Yeah, Pi.
So you're using your refractor is an f11.5.
Ouch! That hurt.
What happened?
11.5.
Well, then that's okay. For planets and so on, a higher focal ratio is better because it's a longer scope in length, and it actually is. So if it's an 80 millimeter aperture and it's 900 millimeters long, your focal length, that's an f11 is really great for planetary objects. It's actually desired.
The optics themselves are not that great, though.
Well, what is it? It's a single lens or is it double?
Double on the objective.
So it's okay. So you get chromatic aberration on it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's
like I said, it's probably older than I am. I bought it for $100 at a flea market and bodged it onto the tripod of my old Tasco 60 mil.
Yeah, but that should be. There's even then it should be fine because you will get chromatic aberration, but it still makes looking at planets nice.
Oh yeah, well that's
like Mars.
That's what
is
I
really
took all
good
those
right now.
pictures through.
Mars is really good right now. It's not its best, but it's good. It's near the Pleiades.
Okay.
So,
well, it's horrible at the moment because we have storms outside.
Oh, I got clear skies, but it's cold. I'm in Michigan.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, we have rain coming tomorrow, I believe, which is good because I fertilize the lawn and stuff, and it's getting ready. The rain will be good because it'll wash into the ground and get the lawn kickstarted for the spring. You know.
Yeah, we need to.
Spring will last about a week, maybe 2.
If it hadn't been for this rain, we'd had to get out with a watering hose for the blueberries.
Really? No, I have. For me, we're just coming out of our winter, and our spring is being. It's a bit early, so it's coming. It's in and out of cold weather and warm weather, and it's also. We haven't had any rain. Oh, since the melt, we've had no rain. So now they got everything on. Now they got the ground treated. I'm waiting for it to be washed in, so they can actually start doing good and kickstart the lawn into coming alive for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I might have to go out and mow in about a week or so.
I know. When once mine gets going, I have to mow every week. I don't have dry weather like you. Where are you?
Right outside of Chattanooga.
I don't know where that is. I'm not from
Tennessee.
Okay, Tennessee. Okay, sorry. I'm not from here. So, well, I am now, but I wasn't not originally. So I don't know all of these. I know the states. I probably don't know half of the towns and so on that you did most.
Southeast Tennessee.
Yeah. The only place I think I know in Tennessee is Nashville.
That's about 2.5 hours away, give or take.
Okay, that's not so bad. Yeah, that's the only place I know in Tennessee, I think. No, but
That's not a bad place.
I'm actually planning for the next solar eclipse is to go into Texas.
Yeah, I have that bookmarked in a picture on my desktop over here somewhere.
2024.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it out there.
I'm planning it because even though it'll come really close to us here, it'll be chance of getting clear skies in Michigan in April. You have 2 choices. You have slim and none.
And Slim's out of town.
So the further south we go. Hey, Canadian Maker, how are you? The link is in chat if you want to come in and join the conversation. It's always open to conversations. You're always open to join us.
Yeah.
But so what's your next project now that you've done all of these adapters for your wife's streams?
Well, I don't know. Right now, my printer sits idle more than I put filament through it.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
I know. My day job takes up a lot of time.
Oh, so does mine. But my day job's at home. So when I get up and walk away from my desk, I can walk out to my printers in the next room.
Yeah, I just have to go downstairs, but, family and all.
Yeah. Yeah, so, but as I said, I run mine a lot during the day. So when I'm going in and out, like I'm going up and down to get coffee and stuff, my office here is in the basement. I got windows in my office. My basement has the back garden is down low, so I actually have windows in my basement. And so
you're supposed to have those for below ground anyway.
Sorry?
You're supposed to have those by code for below ground anyway.
Not in Michigan, no.
You do around here, but this house was built before then.
Yeah, no, in Michigan we don't. Let's see. Maybe I'll be eating and then I'll go and got a net to join. Okay. Well, if you get time, come in and join. You're welcome. That goes for everybody else that's out there. Remember, guys, like, subscribe, and so on. Okay. that all helps to promote the channel. But what else is going on? So what is your plan for your next project plan besides doing all these adapters?
I really don't know. I generally print stuff as I need it.
Okay, so you're not like some of the rest of us who are always.
No, I don't have enough room in this house to print all the stuff that I have saved up from Thingiverse and all the other sites.
Okay, yeah, because I have a pool of printers that I use on a regular basis. Some more than others, and right now I'm doing some fine tuning, like calibration cubes and stuff I'm doing IDEX printers, hence everything's in 2-color. I got some nice prints out of it though. The gold and the yellow.
Oh, nice. I need to put that up on the big screen so I can see it better.
Yeah, I can fix that.
No, it's tiny. It's tiny on my screen.
Oh, yeah, it looks really good, and the gold one is just as good. It still needs a little bit of fine tuning, but overall it came out nice. There's a little bit of lining on it, no under extrusion problems. So
now you're taking up the whole screen.
Okay. Oh, there's a time delay.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, it never syncs.
No, there's always about 15 to 30-second delay between what's on YouTube and what actually is when we stream it live.
That's
they
true.
Buffer it always because that gives them time to process it before the rebroadcast.
That explains why Dan always cuts himself off mid-sentence. He does it every time.
At the end of the conversation? Well,
yeah.
What he does is he hits the end broadcast button in here. And when he hits that, he does his closeout. And that's normally fine, but the problem is if he cuts himself off mid-sentence, he's not giving himself enough time to do his closeout. He should start his closeout before he hits the button and just finish it off then.
Yeah, the next thing I need to do is get the videos trimmed down time-lapse fashion that I made while I was printing these parts. So I figured, yeah, I'll push that out and say, hey, this is what I'm making for my wife, and minor editing. I don't do anything fancy.
Yeah, I should edit more. I have a similar problem. It's time to edit. Editing takes an awful lot of time. And there are guys out there who have producers and editors who do it for them full time. Because they make their money out of YouTube. That's how they make a living, 100%.
Yeah, that's our goal.
Well, yeah, and it takes a lot to get there. Like before you can even monetize your channel, you need to have 1,000 followers and so many 100 hours of
4,000 hours in 12 months. I think is what they say.
Yeah, so it takes a lot to get there. Like I'm about 330 followers right now, subscribers. I would like to jump that, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah. Well, you put the content out, and as the movie said, you build it, they'll come.
Yeah. So and editing does take a lot of time.
She spent almost a week on her first video before she released it. And of course, most of that was learning, but
yeah. But that's
she wanted to make sure it was right.
Yeah, but she's doing cooking, right? So
yes,
you have to show all the detail, all the prep work, and all this kind of stuff. You can't abbreviate that as much.
No,
you can take out the wait times, but you can't abbreviate the function, of preparing.
Yeah, the software she's using only lets her do a 2x time lapse, I think. I can run all of mine through FFmpeg and set it to whatever frame rate I want. So I do about a 10-to-1.
Live stream bypasses the editing and fast tracks the 4K hours requirement. Maybe. Sometimes. That's if you get people to watch the whole end. Like
that's true.
We do these hangouts that we do are 3 hours long, right, on average, right? A live unboxing is 3 to 4 hours, and I do a fair amount of live unboxings. I'm actually waiting on a few printers to come in. I do have one thing coming to me for an actual that they request an actual review. If it ever gets here, I will do it. I have some printers out there that I want to review, but I want to do some fine tuning to show what they're capable of compared to what they're capable out of the box, and that takes time, right? So that's why I haven't got out. Like I have okay, of the budget IDEX printers that are out there today, there are 3 of them. I have 2 of the 3 outside right now working, right? The one I don't have is a Tenalog. I reached out to them to see if they wanted to do a head-to-head, all 3 of them against each other to see which one would give the better results, and they haven't responded to me. But that would be a nice review comparing the 3 budget printers out there for IDEX that are out there today. Because anything beyond these printers, most other IDEX printers are $1,500 or more. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Tiny Machines has an IDEX offering, but I don't remember what its price tag was.
Yeah, I don't know. And Solval are coming out with one, the SCO4. They actually have a few beta machines out there right now.
Yeah, Chris, I've never gotten Octolapse to play nice with my system, so I just run it through FFmpeg.
Which Octolapse are you using? Are you using the Octolapse built into Octoprint, or are you using the add-on, the plugin?
No, the actual plugin.
Yeah, it takes a bit of tuning, and you have to tune it to match your job.
And my jobs tend to be probably just enough different to throw it off every time. I haven't really gotten into it that deep. It just wasn't intuitive the first couple of times I tried it.
Yeah, the plugin is not very intuitive, but the one that's built into Octoprint, it doesn't put the head in the same spot all the time, so the head is jiggling around the place because it's a times frame, but it works. And it works
most of the stuff I do, I don't want the stringing issues that I've seen with a lot of the Octolapse videos.
Yeah, well, yes, because it goes back, it stops, moves out of the way, takes the image, and then comes back in. And doing that, you have to do more retraction, and you have to be very careful about your optimal temperature settings for your printing. Because if it's too hot, you're going to get oozing. If it's too cold, you don't get a good print. And then retraction has well balanced. If you over retract, you get clogging issues. If you under retract, you get oozing. So you have to get that fine tuned before you go there.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even attempt it with PETG.
I've done time lapse with PETG without problem, with Octolapse.
Yeah, well, I'm running about 0.4 millimeter retraction on mine. I can go up to 4 with the micro Swiss, but that seems a bit excessive.
Yeah, but the micro Swiss, is it to the direct drive for the micro, or is it all metal?
It's the all metal hot end with a Titan clone on top.
Okay, no, I use a stock extruder, and I use the on my Ender 5 Plus. I use stock everything except a hot end. I did the all metal hot end on it, just because I wanted to ensure there was going to be no clogs with the bone tube. But I use Capricorn tubing feeding into that.
Yeah, I have. I think there's probably maybe 100 millimeters between the extruder and the melt zone. I want to guess. It's been a while.
You see what Dan said? Yeah,
hi, Dan.
The first time he joined our stream, Dan.
Yeah, jump in. You've had time to eat your supper by now.
You see, what half of them are doing is some of them are on Jerry's stream, because Jerry starts at the same time as me. You know, right? So it's between Jerry and I. We're both on at the same time.
Yeah, that was a tough decision, but I can geek out over here.
Oh yeah, nerds galore, man. If you want, because you're into the sciences, you like astronomy, you like all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we know you're there, Greg. You're welcome to join as well. I know you're listening in because I think you're over on the other one. Oh, Dan is joining us. Here comes trouble. Oh, I said that out loud.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, how are
Turn
you,
on the
Dan?
light so you can see this gorgeous face. You know.
Hey, it looks better than mine most times.
Yeah, it's all right. You can turn the light off now.
Yeah. Let me do this. Here, hold on. Ready? I'll save you all. There you go.
No.
I have horrible lighting and camera position.
It's all good. It's all good. So,
What's
I'm
happening
sorry
with you?
I'm late. I was over on Jerry's stream for a little bit, checking out everything going on with Sean, Mr. the General and all. But I want to come over here and hang out, talk to you guys, see what's new, and I had to be a shill a little bit and just tell everybody, make sure you're watching my Twitter tonight, because as you guys might have seen my wife tweet out, for those of you who are following, she gave me the okay to do something. It's done. I'm just making everybody wait. At some point, whatever it is will happen. So you just got to watch my Twitter and wait for it.
Twitch or Twitter?
Twitch. Oh, it's Twitter.
Yeah, because I don't go to
Too many websites, too many like streaming things that all have the twat in there. They get like Twitter. Watch my Twitter. So
Yeah, I guess I'll turn notifications on just for that.
Just for tonight. You can turn them off afterwards.
Well, I always get your notifications anyway, so. But I have to admit, I have Jerry on the other screen. I'm not listening to him. He's just on. Because he always comes in to support my streams.
Yeah.
And to give him the head count, I made sure I get on his as well, even though I'm not paying a lot of attention there. Admittedly. And he knows I'm not. Because Jerry always joins in mine, so I have to show some love over there to Jerry,
Yeah, I might as well do that too. I can just open another tab.
It's good. He's got 47 people watching right now, which is quite good.
Well, I got to throw a like on the channel anyway.
Yeah, and he's doing a printer giveaway. So, but you have to go in and fill out a Google Doc and then put your name in there. And
what's he giving away?
Drawing at the end for a printer.
He's giving away a printer tonight. Ender 3 V2.
Oh, V2. I see that.
Yeah, it's a V2. Yeah.
No, saying that they're small printers for me. I think I've only got 2 printers that's that small. Everything else I have is 300 or 300, 350, 320. I have the JG Maker Magic, and I have Sovat SVO1 that are smaller than 300.
Yeah, mine showed up on the doorstep in the spring of 19, and it's still the only one that I have.
Well, I got a lot.
Well, mine's a solution looking for a problem.
Yeah, I do beta testing, so I actually look for issues. I get printers, and I like. There's another company who are getting ready to do a Kickstarter on an IDEX printer, and I've been on there. I've been chatting with them, talking about stuff they need to fix and need to make sure they have enabled and tweak on their printer. And I've never even seen their printer. I've seen videos of it, but I've been telling them what they need to do on their printers before they actually go off for their Kickstarter, that they have to have this working. Because I have a couple of IDEX printers, and I know the pitfalls of IDEX printers, so I kind of know what to look for. So we're giving them a heads up of what you need to fix this, because everybody else is not doing this. People miss this all the time. Simple stuff like with a dual extruder, separate E-steps for each extruder.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Most manufacturers don't do that. They use a single E-step. Now, the Artist D, JG Maker, made their code public. They made it open source from day one. Even before they released the printer, the code was out there. So the community jumped all over that, and their code has made huge changes. They're doing iteration after iteration, continuously making changes to it, right? Which is fantastic. There's others that they have an open source code, and there's no way to tweak it unless I build a code, build Marlin myself for their printer. Or Clipper, yeah.
Oh, I'm a big Clipper fanboy.
Well, I didn't realize till recently. No, and I know firmware fairly well, but I'm not a big dev of it, but I know it. And I only figured out recently there's a way in Marlin that if you have an IDEX printer or a dual extruder, you can actually have it choose one filament primarily, and when it runs out, it'll switch over and use the other one to continue printing.
Oh, that's nice.
Now, I don't know what the feature's called. I know somebody, I have heard somebody else has done it. I'm trying to find with a code to do so, but I heard it can be done. And with IDEX printers, you can have two 1K spools, print away like crazy on one, and when it's done, it'll print on the other one, and then while it's printing, take off one spool, stick on the next one, and just keep going. Like,
yeah, I haven't even gotten into filament swaps yet.
Oh, he's running his laser. That's why he's got the cool glasses on.
600.
That's the R-Tour, is it?
No. No, it's the Elix Maker. It's the Elix Maker Elix laser.
I haven't used that one. What power is the diode?
I believe that one's a 2.5. I think it's a 2.5 watt. I know that it's like I know they're like, oh, it's a 5 watt laser, but its output's like 2.5 kind of.
Well, no, if it's a 5 watt, its output is about 1 or 1.5.
Well, it's more than that. It's like,
so it's probably a 7 watt then at 2.5.
It could be. Yeah, I don't exactly know. I have to look and see. I take that back. I did look it up. It was 2.5 watts is what it said the output was. So whatever the laser is, it was a 2.5 watt output. So,
oh, Jerry's doing his spin, by the way.
He's doing the
spin. I'm watching. Don't you worry. If I win that printer,
my name's not even
using that printer. I got to get some stuff going here. I got to make some things happen. I got an office that I got to finish building up front and get that done so that I can move out there and then get this a little bit better organized in here.
I can't wait to see what your office looks like when it's done.
I can't wait to see my office is going to look like when it's done, because it's going to be nice to have like an actual like office area away from all of this stuff that I can actually go sit and, I'll have, again, I'm going to have like a L-shaped desk.
You should build up a studio over there, Huh? You should build a studio.
Well, that's I think that guy knew I wasn't going to win.
Nope, you didn't win.
That's all right. I kind of that's the plan for in here. Like the big TV that's up there is going to stay there. I'm going to hook a computer up to it so that when I come in here, like if I'm going to do like live stream builds and stuff like that, the hope is I'm going to have like kind of like a table right here in the middle that I can work from. There'll be a camera that'll be almost mounted to that wall right there that'll point at me. I'll have another one on the ceiling that'll basically point down over the top of the work area. So I'll basically have my face or like basically the front of the work area and then one over the top looking down. I'll have those covered, and then the screen will be up there that I can kind of watch chat and whatnot on. And then I'll probably have just like a laptop on the corner of the table kind of a thing that'll just let me kind of move some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the hope for in here. There is actually, the hope that I'll be able to work from in here. So that's why back on this edge of the wall here, there won't be anything here. Granted, at some point there'll be an air conditioner in there unless I decide to put it over here instead, which I very well may. And then if that be the case, this one here will become a regular window that I can pull a screen over,
Cool.
Blackout shades.
Yeah. On a side note, if I could, I had a great day. I got to tell you guys about how I'm still smiling and happy even after I tell you guys all the fun things that have happened to me today. So got up and I went to work, and I was like 5 minutes late for work. Yay. So I started the day out 5 minutes late for work. Sitting at my desk, and I was thinking about, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a half day. Today's stimulus day. Let's go stimulate the economy by paying bills and being a responsible adult. So I'm going to leave early today. So I told my coworker, I'm like, hey, I'm taking off at noon today. And I'm sitting there eating a Jolly Rancher at my desk, just doing my thing. And I have a couple caps on some of my teeth. They're capped.
Oh,
I bit down on the Jolly Rancher, and the Jolly Rancher didn't move. So I flicked it with my tongue. And the next thing I know, I'm like, this don't feel right. I was like, wait a minute, that Jolly Rancher don't feel right. I pulled the Jolly Rancher out, and one of my caps was stuck to the Jolly Rancher. I'm like, this sucks. I'm like, this is how it's going to be, huh? So I pulled the cap off the Jolly Rancher. I flicked the stuff off, and I'm sitting there, and I look at my assistant, and I said, I just pulled the cap out. And he's like, what? And I know he was thinking computer cap because, again, we're in IT. So he was thinking computer cap, and I'm like, I just pulled the cap out. And he's like, what? I'm like, and I hold the cap up, and I'm like showing it to him, and he's like, so I take it and I wiggle it back into my mouth. I twist it around and I push down a little bit, and I'm like, that doesn't feel right. And I bit, and it popped back into place, and I'm like, nice. So I was like, okay, well, at least that worked out. Left early, came home, got some of the stuff I needed to do, had to get back into town. I got a couple of my hairs trimmed while I was in town. And
I see it. The one over there on your left-hand side. I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had to get some stuff for my daughter because she's got a craft project. So I go to a little craft store. I leave there and I'm going to a Dollar General. I had to pick up some things for the house on my way to the DMV because I had to go to the DMV. Well, and then I was getting dinner and coming home. That was the plan. I pull into Dollar General. I go inside to get the stuff we need. I come back out. The guy comes running out. I'm like loading something in the car. The guy comes running. He's like, sir. He goes, your card was declined. Your card was declined. I go, no. There's probably a problem with the computer because I know that the card is good right now. This is like the one time in my life I'm certain that the money is there. So I go back inside. I swipe the card. I'm telling the guy, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I figured this was going to happen to me today. I was like, I got to go to the DMV. So, of course, anything and everything that's going to stop me from getting to that DMV is going to happen today. And he just kind of chuckled. I go out, I get in the car, I start it up, I put it in reverse, I back out of my parking space, I put it in drive, I go to give it gas to take off, and all of a sudden I hear ting, 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 and then all of a sudden it just let go and there was nothing. You can step on the pedal and all you hear is it just clicking and binding, and I'm like, something broke. I was like, I'm guessing something broke, axle, CV joint, something. And so I moved the car over to, like, the car rolled itself anyway over to the edge of the parking lot and call my wife. I'm like, yeah, I'm not happy. I used some more choice words, I'm like, I'm not happy.
Selective vocabulary, yes.
Yeah, through all of this, I'm still smiling. I'm like, and so I'm like, whatever, I can't.
That's called palsy. Your face always stays in a smile.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I was just kind of like, I can't change anything. So, okay, so I'm sitting there and I call the tow company and I called my wife. I told her, I said, hey, well, I was like, she said, hey, your oldest is here. I'm like, great, good. Tell him to take his truck and go get a car, Dolly, and come get me. She's like, oh, no, what happened? And I told her, and she goes, oh, just call a tow truck. I'm like, well, somebody can be nice and come get me because I don't know when the tow truck's coming. She goes, no, just ride with the tow truck driver. I'm like, so I'm sitting in the parking lot, call the tow company, give them my credit card over the phone. She sends the truck out. The truck hooks me up. I ride with the driver back to my house, which is like a 20-minute drive. Get back here, put it in the driveway, stick a brick underneath the tire so it doesn't roll away. I go in the house, get everybody's order for dinner. I go to this amazing place near me called the Igloo. If you're ever in the Peru, Illinois area, I'll give away that much. If you're in the Peru, Illinois area, go to the Igloo. It's amazing. Like, I eat their double cheeseburgers with nothing on it. No ketchup, no mustard, no pickles, onions, relish, nothing. Just 2 pieces of meat, 2 pieces of cheese, and a bun. It's amazing. And it's a simple burger, but it's delicious. So that, I think, kept me smiling because I was like, I know what I'm getting for dinner, And then it's also the sandwich of the month is the Reuben because, well, what's today?
Patty's Day.
So, of course, got to have a Reuben, got to have your corned beef.
Okay. But Reuben's not an Irish meal, but okay.
I know it's not, but still. Corned beef.
Just corned beef is not an Irish meal.
You're right, it's not. But still, we believe it is, okay? Leave us alone.
It's actually, we actually prefer cured bacon.
Liam, quit ruining our beliefs. but no, so and through all of that crap today, I'm still smiling. I'm not letting it get me down, and I'm still going to give back to the community because even this morning, before I even talked to my wife, I said that I was going to do something to stimulate the economy today. So I'm still going to do something and give back to the community and stimulate the economy and the community. So keep watching my Twitter. And if you were watching my Twitter and you follow my wife on Twitter, you'll know my wife gave me her blessing because she tweeted it out too. So okay. I'm not in trouble with my wife for this.
For now.
No. It's something nice, but it's not something over extravagant. It's not something like crazy. Okay. So don't think big, but just, it's something nice. So just keep watching my Twitter.
Michael, putting green dye into Guinness, that's alcohol abuse. You don't do that to alcohol.
Yes.
I spent the gift card down last night.
Yep. Yes, you did, sir. He already went and the gift card he won last night, he already went and spent. Good. I'm glad. That's the whole
filament. Good man.
Yes, and a T-shirt. He bought some filament and a T-shirt, he said.
Nice.
So there you go. Oh, but yeah, no, I don't know. It's been a crappy day, but I'm not letting it get me down. I'm still smiling.
Well, you shouldn't. And you're going to do something fun this evening, you said.
Yeah, at some point, whenever I'm ready. I mean, it's already there. It's already ready to go. All I got to do is just put out the tweet and wait.
Cool.
So at some point this evening, there'll be a tweet that'll go out. It'll have some information in there, and people just need to find that tweet. And if they can find the information that's important in said tweet.
Oh, so it's going to be a treasure hunt, is what you're saying?
No. It'll be smack dab in the tweet. The information is right there in the tweet. They just have to watch for the tweet. So
Mylan's back. He's full now. He's got a full tummy he ate, so he's going to sit there in his chair and sleep now. Watch. He'll be snoring in a moment. Wait for it.
I'll be honest with you. I think with part of that stimulus money, I think I'm going to have to buy me a little bit more comfortable chair too, because I don't know if you guys see this, but this is like a real low back, like real thin padded.
You're going to get a real chair?
It's just like, it's a wheeled chair, but it's just,
Yeah, but something that low back is not good for you if you're there a lot.
No. I need a nice high back chair that I can be like Mylan and do this. Just relax.
Oh, who let Llama in?
And Llama is in. He hasn't joined us yet, but he probably will.
It's Mylan's fault. He left the gate open.
People are joining because Jerry's stream is winding up, so they're all going to come in and hang out.
Blame it all on me.
Yep, I said it's all Mylan's fault. He left the gate open.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, especially to the Llama.
Well,
yeah.
Jerry's show is over, guys.
I know.
So you guys don't have to feel
There's
bad.
somebody I've never seen before who actually won. I've never heard of her.
Nope.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good that someone new to win something.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, puppy.
See, he woke up.
Yeah.
He heard Dan's voice. Woke up.
He says it's St. Patrick's Day. I need to join in the festivities.
Oh, it's a puppy.
Yeah.
No, Marcus. Neither did any of us. So that's okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The only person who's got me beat is Llama.
How?
Big mouth.
You said that now, not me. Remember that, okay?
I never said anything like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's all Llama's fault.
So you're gonna get a raffle stream going soon. Cool. Will it be tonight? Will I win?
I'm back. I need to get him a treat.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Greg, get on that raffle.
I'm over 250, but I'm at over 300. Hey Matt, how are you? You're still awake, I see.
I am currently at, I don't even know. I haven't looked at it a little bit. I know it was 619 yesterday when I was told that I was at 619. So should probably go look and see. Oh, I'm 618. Somebody just unsubscribed. Liam.
It wasn't me.
I know.
It was not me.
I'm kidding. It's still 619. So
okay, then I'll go and do it now. I won't feel so guilty.
Liam's like, it wasn't me, but it is now.
It is now.
I think I'm still down in the 20s, but I don't have any content, so it doesn't bother me.
But it doesn't matter. Like it's all about doing what's fun for you, right?
Yeah, I have some stuff to upload once I get some processing done on it. I don't think anybody wants to sit through a 5-hour print.
Why not?
Yeah. You need to speed that up somewhat.
Yeah, I got it condensed down to about 20 or 25. I'll have to look, but FFmpeg is a wonderful little command line program for doing that.
I've never used it.
Yes and no, Marcus. Yes and no. I gave away some of them. Like I used one for my kid, and then like another one for my kid, and then I gave one to a friend at work. They said, "You got an iPhone?" They said, "Yeah, here, check this out." So hopefully you get at least like the 2 of them there.
Oh, cool, Llama. So guys, go out to Llama's link. He's 6 short of 500. There's 15 people on here. We can blow that number out if they're not already subscribed.
Hey, non-fab.
Every single one.
I think I'm already subbed.
Every single one of my accounts is already subscribed to all Llama's channels. I can't believe I openly admitted that, but it's true. Can't believe I just admitted to supporting Llama, but I do. I support you, Llama. This is the only time you're ever going to hear it. So anytime you're feeling down, just replay this clip over and over again.
And this is recorded, so you can play it whenever you wish. We have video proof, he said.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is it. Just replay that clip. I'm not going to say it again. I gave you that one, buddy. I gave you.
Oh, I got a good question.
Hey, look, it's a moth.
Cute.
Butterfly, not a moth.
It looks like a moth with really big,
Anybody in here using OBS?
My IDEX printers today, so
these are normally
good
butterfly. See, when you hold it like that, see, it's a butterfly when you hold it like that. The other way you hold it, it's like a moth.
Okay.
Moth to a flame.
But it came out fairly well. So as I said, I was calibrating one of the IDEX. I have another one I have yet to do.
Liam, do you or Dan, either one, use OBS?
I do use OBS sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
I just updated Octoprint because it was giving me like half a screen worth of things that were out of date every time I signed in. So I now have the wonderful credentials that are forced upon us now, which I don't think is a bad idea. I just like to be able to turn it off. But OBS is not playing nice with the Octoprint UI anymore. All of my themes are gone. I can't change settings, and half the buttons don't work when I'm interacting with the window.
I haven't played around with OBS and Octoprint for a while, so I've been.
So you're running Octoprint on your laptop?
No, it's on the Pi downstairs.
And what about OBS? What's happening with OBS? Oh, you mean so the screen is not updating?
Well, no, it's updating, but when I updated Octoprint and then fired up OBS again, which is where all of my streams have come from, the 2 print uploads that I've done. I had all 3 cameras plus the Octoprint window, the UI and another window on there. But, everything was in a nice dark theme. Themify was doing its job. But when I opened it back up, I had a white screen with the title bar being orange.
That's probably not OBS, then. That's probably Octoprint that's having the issues.
Well, I went in and tried to open the settings and went into Themify, and I can't change anything.
Then that's not OBS. That's definitely Octoprint. Because
okay, well, it's working fine in my browser. It's just not doing fine in the browser in OBS.
Sorry, OBS's built-in browser is not taking advantage of the custom CSS for all of the plugins for Octoprint. Then that's what your problem is. May not be CSS, but something in the plugins is not loading in because OBS has its own built-in little kind of like browser.
You know what? That might be the problem because I took out a piece of CSS code trying to get the scroll bars to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I bet that's what blew it out.
It very well could be because again, the browser that's in OBS is just a basic browser. It's nothing special. It's going to work with just your basic stuff, whatever it's told to do. It's not going to be able to interpret things like Chrome and Firefox.
Yeah, it's basically HTTP is all it is.
It's just a basic browser.
It's not a
let's see if that's it.
It's basically dumb. It uses doesn't it use a what is it called? What's
up,
the Unix?
Let's see, what is it? 1280 by 1024? Is that the standard resolution?
For 10, it's 1280 by 1024 is one of them. You got 600 by 8 or 800 by 600. You can do. Go nuts. Do 1080p, do 1920 by 1080, and then just shrink it down.
Dan, what's the name of the basic Unix web?
Chromium.
No. In Unix, the web services.
Damn it!
I can see it. I can't remember the name of it.
Not Apache?
That's it.
Oh,
It
is it
uses
Apache?
Apache is what it uses on
Okay.
the Octoprint.
Hey, look at that. Chris, Travis, and Shane, we all chime in at once.
Yeah.
Look at us.
It was just escaping. I know this stuff. I use it all the time, and it's just my brain
It took
didn't
it.
manage to kick into gear.
Yeah, let's see.
Well, RGINX is actually used for sharing it, but Apache uses RGINX in the background.
Let's see if I can get my camera to switch around without dying. Whoops, wrong button.
Maybe not.
Yeah. So but it's yeah, I forgot about that one. I couldn't remember it, but that's all it uses because all Unix systems run on base Apache.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's what I get now.
Nice dashboard, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not supposed to look like that.
Okay,
No.
not so nice
I
dashboard.
mean, it's close, but I've got a lot of stuff in here that didn't used to be. And that command widget shouldn't be in there. These bars shouldn't be in there. I can't even scroll on the screen. It's just frozen in whatever fits inside this window.
Yeah, it sounds like Apache's having problems, and it could be your HTML code. You said you took out some style sheet content.
Well, no, I just created a new one. This one has the overflow in it.
The problem may be start turning off your plugins.
Yeah.
Like start turning off all your plugins till you find the offender, and once you find the offender, then you can look at it.
Yeah, because see that's the default that it puts in, other than me changing the size. And all I did was take out the overflow to try to get the scroll bars in it.
Yeah, well, I would say rather than do that, go into your Octoprint and just start turning off plugins one at a time until you see which one does it.
Yeah, and
You know what I mean?
I thought about doing that, but if I hang on a second.
Yeah, I use Linux and Unix stuff, not an awful, but a fair bit. And the Octoprint is basically a cut down version of Linux.
Right.
So it's a very, very base version of it.
Come on.
This
thing's on a hard wire and it still takes forever to load up.
Let's see if my wife is paying attention to Twitter.
Why, are you going to post on Twitter now?
No, I'm just going to ask my wife a question on Twitter and make sure she's paying attention.
Now this is what it should look like.
Okay.
This is what it did before I did the update. This is in my regular browser.
So, but in what browser are you? But in OBS, OBS doesn't render it correctly.
No, OBS used to look like this. I mean, what of it would display. Now I just get.
And how are you displaying it in OBS then? Are you just sharing? Are you just using it as a share window?
No, I'm pulling it in OBS's browser. I just went
OBS
in and
is re-rendering the image is what's happening.
Yeah, see, I just picked browser.
Yeah, you go into browser and then you just copy and paste it in there. So again, OBS's browser is what's bringing it up. So it's probably one of the plugins within Octoprint that's causing this lovely little issue. So
yeah, it's either that or I updated the Pi itself and screwed something up. So yeah. Well, I'll figure it out. I may just have to rearrange this.
What you might try is reinstall OBS again.
Uh-oh, now where'd it go?
you
I've
broke
lost
it.
my cameras.
It didn't like my suggestion, apparently.
Well, let's see. Nope, that one's still there. Might help if I turn the LEDs on. My nozzle cam.
Oh, okay. What type of camera are you using for that?
It's something I found on Amazon quite a while ago. Let me see. Let me move this over.
Okay. If anybody's paying attention to Twitter, my boss lady just told me that maybe I could do something. So maybe people should wink, wink.
Yeah. So there's the mount that this is actually Petzel's mount.
Oh, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, he might join us. If he's around, he'll join us tonight.
Yeah, that's all Pet G except for the piece that's around the fan, and he actually designed that for me. I did that one in PLA, but it's just a USB bullet camera super glued in, pointed at the nozzle. CNC Kitchen did one. His is a lot better quality, but I think he disassembled a really nice borescope cam and did some work. Because this one has a flexible pigtail on it. Most of them are semi-rigid, and I just don't want that stress on the gantry.
Yeah, I haven't.
But it does a pretty good picture. It looks better on when it's recorded than it does here because it's enlarged more than it should be. It's only a 640.
Yeah, I wonder. You could probably do it with a pie cam.
Yeah, I could probably do that if I wanted to fiddle with one.
Yeah,
aren't those a flat cable though?
Yeah, well, yes, but that would be okay because you only want to run it. You only want to run it up. You can get a long enough flat cable. It should be fine. It's only a ribbon, and I'm sure you can get converters from the flat that has a flat plug in that comes into normal. It rolls up to the normal cable.
I want that one
again.
There we go. Now I'm back.
Well, yeah, so it shouldn't be that hard to do, but a pie camera would probably do it. And you could probably mount the pie on the upper area of the X across the top of the Z, so the ribbon comes down to your nozzle then, and it'll just your pie then broadcast it. So you could do that.
Oh, my picture looks like crap.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but
well, it's really muddy. But see, the thing is,
it's probably
Wi-Fi is sitting right there.
No, but it could be the Wi-Fi. It could be the lighting as well, and the camera interpretation. Is
yeah,
that
that's
true.
Phone? Yeah, that's my OnePlus.
Okay. Yeah,
that's all I have to play with right now.
Yeah, if it's on a cell phone, it's probably why.
Yeah, it looks a lot better on the phone than it does on the YouTube playback.
Let's see. Pies are pretty interesting toys. Yes, they are. I use them a lot. I have a couple of pie cameras, and I'm going to start using them more and more and more because I can do so much with a pie. Like I'm actually thinking about setting up a pie with a pie camera to look for speeding cars on my street. You can do that. You know that? You can actually use a pie to do it as a speed camera. What it does is it looks. You tell it how much distance can be seen by the camera on the street, and then you find out how many pixels are on your camera, and you divide one into the other, so you know per pixel the distance is traveled. So within a certain period of time, if it's traveled so far, the pie can calculate the speed of the vehicle and by calculating how many pixels it's traversed over a period of time.
Huh. Sounds pretty nifty.
Yeah, you can do stuff like that. It's kind of you can do an awful lot with them.
Sounds a lot easier than doing a laser rangefinder.
I could do that. They're not hard to build.
Well, they need to have an accurate timing circuit, though, don't they?
Pies have those. You can do with a pie because all you're doing is getting the reflected light, and then you divide it by the amount of time from transmission to receiving divided by the speed of light will give you the speed.
Right.
So it's not that hard to do it. It's simple math, a simple calculation.
No, it sounds more fun to use the camera though.
The camera is more. There's more involved in it. Yeah. Measure the scrape mark from the black.
Sounds like the rain is here.
That's funny.
We were down to about 500-foot visibility with fog a little while ago.
Yeah, it's dry outside, and we're supposed to have rain tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it because, as I said, it's going to kickstart my lawn by washing all the fertilizer into it that I have guys out there, and my Grubex.
The bird feeders are doing that for us.
Sorry?
The the grass under the bird feeders is above ankle high now, but the rest of the yard hadn't caught up yet.
That's just exactly what you do, Lamb and all. No, you do not add dye to be. I don't drink. I used to, but I don't. And adding dye to beer is alcohol abuse. I'm sorry.
I don't want to be one to say go do something, but people might want to pay attention to Twitter. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm already on Twitter. I haven't seen anything coming out from you.
1 minute ago, something might have happened on Twitter, according to Twitter's timer. 1 minute ago, it might have happened.
Well, I don't see.
You're going to make me jump in the browser because I can't do it on the phone now.
Well, just
from you, is it?
Well, my wife did tell you guys to watch my Twitter later today, and I may or may not have tweeted my wife and said, "Hey, what do you think about now?" And she might have tweeted me back saying, "Yeah, I think so."
Well,
so
I'm getting no pop-ups from you.
Last thing I see from you is a WhatsApp reply.
Maybe you should ding that little bell and get my notifications, Liam.
I do, because I see the only one I see from you is saying, "So I'm all you heard from Mrs. DB3D. Keep watching my Twitter." That's the last notice.
Well, I'm
last
telling
thing
you,
I'm
people are
seeing
getting
too.
it because I'm getting little dings from people right now, so people are seeing it.
I'll blame Twitter since Pooch isn't here.
No. No. I do not see any other announcements other than that one.
It's out there.
Was it sent before or after?
Wait a minute. No, of course it's not out there. I'm not talking. I don't know anything. I'm not giving dirty little secrets on Liam's stream right now about what people should. I'm not. No.
Yes, you will, because you know you love it.
Man, I might have to go so far as to actually copy and paste a link to something.
Yeah, in the private chat.
Oh, you just want a heads up? Is that all?
Well, no, because then I can actually give you more promotion and advertise it here. I don't see it. So whatever your guys are seeing, I have no clue because it's not showing up on my Twitter feed. And
I'm even on your direct feed, Dan, and last thing I see is an hour ago, and then the supper burger.
Oh, gentlemen. Oh, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Let me help you. Let me help you. Let me make this a little easier for people. Because apparently telling you it's there doesn't seem to work, and Twitter doesn't want to work. So
stick it in private chat and let me share it here for everybody.
Sure. Yeah.
It's promotion for you, so.
Look in your chat, like in your channel chat. Is it there?
Not yet.
Man, this thing is elusive, isn't it?
There it is.
It may only be one thing, and it may only be one thing.
See how fast I can type that in.
Yeah, copy and paste works pretty good.
Not between the phone and the PC, though.
Looks like somebody is claiming to have already gotten it. We'll wait until we'll wait till we get the actual confirmation that somebody may or may not have gotten what I was talking about. Yeah, maybe you're all following the wrong at DB3D Dan.
Oh, but there it is when I typed it in. Says it's 5 minutes old.
Yeah, and 1 minute ago somebody posted saying that they got some metal gray. Nice.
You're pulling a Moses.
Not really pulling a Moses, but yeah, pulling a Moses. I mean,
Yeah, he was doing something like this a while back.
Yeah, but he was doing them in pictures and stuff. He was like
Yeah.
hiding them in pictures and making people look for him. I just told my wife, I'm like, I decided earlier that I wanted to do that. I was like, I just want to drop like something for the community because everybody's so nice and they helped out and everything. And she's like, yeah. I was like, so what do you think about doing I'll give it away now since I'm pretty sure it's been used. What do you think about just dropping a random $25 gift card out there and
it's been
just
used.
let it
Will
go?
got it.
Will got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do you say we just drop a random, $25, gift card out there for Printed Solid? And she goes, yeah. I was like, you sure? She goes, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. I said, okay. And then I was like, you might want to tweet out something so people know that, you're okay with this and I'm not going to get my butt handed to me.
Yeah, Will got it. He got a great.
Now it's showing up in my feed since I've liked it.
It was there.
Well, that's fine. I'm not hurting. I'm not hurting for filament right now.
No, but maybe my wife will be
Twitter
tweeting maybe my wife will be tweeting one out later. So maybe you guys might want to go follow my wife on Twitter. That might be something I say repeatedly. You guys might want to.
I'm trying to get somebody to sponsor my droid build.
There are ways to get people to sponsor your droid build.
Yeah, but I need about 20 spools of filament.
There are ways to get people to sponsor your droid build.
Electronics are going to cost you more than that.
Actually, the electronics are not so bad. And the other thing is, I'm trying to get someone to sponsor me a large bed, a 450 by 450 or bigger printer, because the parts are so big, none of them would fit in my printer. I have to cut them into 3 or 4 pieces to make them fit on my print beds. And I got the biggest print bed I have is 350, and the head dome of the droid is about 450 wide.
Yeah, I think Sam was saying that the electronics that he uses in his full size droids were like $700 just for the controllers.
Depends. Yeah, some of them.
Yeah, I can't see needing something that beefy to move something that size.
You'd be amazed because they're on tracks. The big ones are on tracks often. And that needs more torque.
True. Put it on a gearbox.
Yeah, but and then there is a printed gearbox that you build for them.
I'd be afraid of that though, but it's just
PETG, no, it'll be fine. And if anything goes wrong, you print another one. Like, what's the issue?
That's true. It breaks.
That's why we love 3D printing. And maybe Joel can hook you up with a large format. I don't know.
38,000.
I need about 15 and 20 kilos of filament.
Yeah, he likes to break that printer a lot too.
Yeah, he does.
Who?
I don't know. I'm living up to my nickname, but I have not been impressed with that piece of hardware.
Which hardware?
The Joel $35,000 printer.
The Daedalus?
Yeah, I think whatever that dual.
The huge like.
That one. That would be ideal for what I'm looking for. It may not have the Z height though. It might have the Z height. But it does have the print area. But yeah, well, I found when he first broke it, the first thing went into my mind is it's PETG. We all make mistakes, right? But PETG, it proves my point that I repeatedly say, PETG, you have to have a release agent, otherwise you're shooting yourself in the foot.
On glass, I agree.
He broke a $38,000 printer because he didn't have a release agent, which is why the printer came with a little print stick to cover the bed.
Hey, I'm printing PETG directly on a TH3D PEI sheet.
PEI is different, and I'd still be careful.
Oh, I don't squish it anymore, and I have to get it to stick.
Yeah, well, yeah, you should lay it down and not squish it in.
Mm-hmm.
Your offset.
Yeah, I'm just barely getting squish out of it.
Yeah, as long as the layers come down and bond, and they have time to sit together to actually bond stronger, and no cooling fan or very little cooling fan.
Fans off for the first 2 layers, beds at 70.
I have fan off for the first 2 layers or 3 layers, bed at 70, nozzle at 230, and I only turn on the fan when I need it for overhangs or bridging, and even then it's only 30%.
Yeah, I don't go above 30 unless it's an overhang, and I might blip it higher than that.
Yeah, but I generally, if I don't need overhangs or if I don't have bridging, I do not use any fan at all.
Oh, I could definitely tell the difference on this part from the first. Well, you won't be able to see it on here, but the first couple of layers on the bottom, I can definitely see more sheen than all the rest.
And what happens is when there's no cooling fan, the longer the layers sit together, the stronger and the more they bond together. So that gives it stronger. Like I do. That's pitchy.
What orientations you printed in?
He printed it in pickle.
That one. The part, see the supports in there? I got my pliers, went one move, all came out clean.
Yeah, cleaner than mine.
Supports in here. I got my tweezers, stuck them in one side, I went slip, and out they came. Because this moves. Because I call this my AstroPie.
Yeah.
Because it's the holder for my pie for my telescope. And then I
need to do that one of these days.
And I put in two screws here, two bolts in there, and I got the springs out of an old pen, an ordinary pen, clicking pen. Uh-huh. And the springs, what they do is, because this is a dovetail, when I put it onto my dovetail on my telescope, this moves. So now I don't have to adjust or tighten anything. I just loosen this, slide it over, and it holds itself.
Yeah, more of a friction fit.
Yeah, and it doesn't move anywhere. It's perfect. And
I'd consider doing one of those, but the EQ mount I have only has plus or minus 20 degrees on the other axis. So yeah, that tells you how old it is.
Yeah, I know. I have Losmendi G11 G2.
Oh, you dropped some coin on that one.
That's a good mount, yeah. And then like that, and that's just for the mount. And then I have for imaging, I have two setups I use for imaging. I have my HHD 9.25 HHD, and I also have a Explorer Scientific 102 Apple.
Do you remember the link I dropped a few weeks ago to the
He's doing
astronomy photo album?
What was that move? That was by not the Monkeys. It was somebody else. Can't remember her name. Sorry. Go ahead, Okamajan.
But yeah, the photo album that I linked in one of your streams a while back, over on the astronomy site, was taken almost exclusively with cell phones. And that's all I have to use right now, because my digital camera I can't marry up to my telescope.
What type of camera is it?
It's not on the shelf anymore. I can't just reach up there and there it is over here. That's probably 10 years old.
It's not about the age though. It's whether or not you can get a T-ring on it or not.
Well, you can't get a T-ring because it doesn't have removable.
Oh, then yeah. Also, it's one of those. Instance. Okay. Yeah.
One of these monsters.
Yeah, and I can't. That lens can't come off.
Right. I could get it lined up, but I don't think it would do me any good.
No. What you can do is you can do eyepiece projection, and you can actually get a mount that clips on, so it swings and hangs over. It mounts around the eyepiece, and you mount your camera on it, and you can move your camera out of the way to get it lined up and focus through the eyepiece. And then what you do is you bring your camera over and you focus your camera on it, and you use your eyepiece as a projector.
Yeah, that's what I use with my cell phones.
Yeah, but you can do the same on your DSLR.
Yeah, and I have thought about doing that. I just haven't got around to designing and printing the mount for it.
Digiscoping. We don't. Yeah, well, I don't call it digiscoping. We just call it eyepiece projection because you're using the eyepiece to project the image into the camera. You can also get lenses, eyepieces that are what's it called? Is it orthoscopic lenses? They're really wide lens. They go onto eyepieces, and they're designed so you can actually you can get marrying connectors to screw onto the outside of your lens that's on your camera. There's normally a thread on the outside of that. You can get marrying adapters to join that and to screw it onto the orthoscopic or digiscopic eyepiece, and you can actually use that as eyepiece projection into your camera.
Yeah, because ever since I moved away from the S5, I think it was, all the cell phone pictures, when you zoom in on them, they look like watercolors. Even with a 48 megapixel imager, it still looks like a watercolor when I zoom in on it. I don't get defined sharp pixels, and that's terrible for Astro.
Well, you won't, because the size of the pixels and the sensitivity of the pixels on the cameras on the cell phones can't do it. Hey, Matt.
Hey, how's everybody?
Yeah, 12 megapixel.
There it is.
The eyepiece. Yeah, some will go into I've actually done astrophotography with a cell phone through the eyepiece of a pair of binoculars years and many years ago, and I got decent images out of it. And I was doing a lunar eclipse, and the images came out really nice. But I was manually holding my binoculars were on a tripod, and I was holding my cell phone up to the eyepiece taking photographs.
Yeah,
it works, right?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I got that picture of Andromeda that I showed you was a 13-second exposure, I think, but that's as far as I could get without my mount losing tracking, because back then it was a 9-volt motor with a potentiometer.
What you need to do is you need to take many of those images and bring them into software and stack them.
I have all that stacking software. I just ran out of motivation back then. It's been 2 years since I've done anything.
What was it? What were you using? Registax?
I have that one, Deep Sky Stacker, and
DSS, okay.
There's another one I think they use for videos. I was big into this back before the eclipse, and then it just kind of dropped out.
Yeah, there's a whole pile of them out there. Registax is often used for video. DSS is used for galaxies and other deep sky stuff, for static images for stacking.
Yeah, see, I was taking flats, and what's the other one?
Bias.
Yes, I have a whole stack of those that are actually still on the memory card on the phone.
Yeah, what you need to do is you need to merge them into become a master dark and a master flat. And then once you do, so you stack them together, and then you subtract your master dark away from your lights, and then you subtract your bias away from your lights, and then you stack your lights.
Right, and it gets rid of a lot of noise and a lot of sins, shall we say?
Well, the darks get rid of thermal noise on the chip. Because the chip, when electricity passes through the chip, it gets heat blooms on some of the pixels, and you get hot pixels, and it actually finds those hot pixels and eliminates them because there's no image there. It's just all black. And then on the bias is great for getting rid of stuff like dust bunnies and vignetting and so on, some inconsistencies in the image.
Which there will be a bunch projecting through the eyepiece, and
there will. So you have to take the images through the same setup. So if you're doing your darks and your flats, your darks, not so much. Your flats, you have to take them in the same setup at the same temperature, the same and your darks as your imaging at.
Right, and I did. I just used the.
That's cool, Travis.
I think I used the lens cover on the objective, and then
your darks,
like 2 layers worth of T-shirt pointed at the outside floodlight.
What space is that, Dum Dum?
But what's good about the camera is it will take RAW.
Yeah, you need to have, well, RAW, you don't have to have RAW, but RAW images does help because it's easy. A lot of the processing tools handle RAW better than it does other format types.
Yeah, and this phone does too. It's just I actually got better pictures with my LG V20 than I do with this OnePlus 8, which is kind of disappointing because there's probably 4 or 5 years difference in the tech.
Well, a lot of people now, or some people are like on a budget, they're actually using a Pi and a Pi camera to take photographs, or you use a webcam and you adapt an ordinary cheap webcam, a high def webcam.
Mm-hmm.
You adapt it to be mounted into the eyepiece on your focuser.
Yeah.
And they take photographs that way. They make a code. You know, a cheap way of doing it, actually. If you get, the old 35mm film?
Yeah.
The canisters that came in? Get one of those, cut a hole in the bottom of it, or in the base
Go ahead
of it,
and break it, Dan.
stick it on to your, put it on your cell phone, and then you can mount the cell phone, like if you get an adapter, you can actually mount the cell phone straight into the eyepiece.
I might have to look into that if I don't forget it.
Yeah, or you
My
can
mind's
get
like
a
a steel
webcam.
trap. Once it goes in, it never comes out.
Yeah, well, you can also, in some areas, you can get a webcam that's the size of the diameter of the eyepiece, in your focuser. That'll fit into the focuser. You get some webcams that are like that. Use one of those, or use the adapter again from the 35mm film or something similar. Stick it on, and you put it into where the eyepiece goes, and that'll hold it in place. Now you have a non-moving camera mounted in your focuser.
Yeah, because these phones were always a kludge, and I actually bought a mount off of Amazon to attach it, and then I figured out, oh hey, I've got infrared focuser LEDs on this thing. I have to tape off every time I want to use it.
Yeah,
I had two little purplish dots showing up in the picture all the time, and I couldn't figure out where they were coming from. It was reflecting off of the lens and the eyepiece.
Is it just a mirror, Dum Dum? I'm not sure what you mean by is it just a mirror and you put it over your head. Explain yourself, man.
Oh. That's old tintype photos, I think.
Yeah, that's before my time.
Yeah, I remember those. They had gunpowder in the tray for the flash.
Well, that was like back in the Wild West days.
Mm-hmm. That's the only reference I can think of with a black cloth over your head.
The eyepiece is not just a mirror. No, the eyepiece does the magnification of the image coming off the mirror inside in the telescope. So if you're using a refractor, the mirror's at the back to directing it up at a 90 degree to the eyepiece. If you're using a reflector, there's two mirrors involved in a reflector reflecting it out through the eyepiece, which is in the front of the telescope. So the eyepiece actually does the magnification. The mirrors and the lenses in a refractor focus the light to a focal point at the back. In a reflector, the mirrors focus the light, and then the eyepiece magnifies that light that's picked up. My friend did a photo of M42. That's nice. M42 is really nice.
Give me a name for that one. I'm not familiar with all the numbers.
Oh, I'm more used to names than the numbers. Because I know the Messier catalog off pretty much off by heart. I can tell you where they are in the sky, right?
Of course you would.
M42 is that the Orion Nebula? I think M42 is the Orion Nebula.
Now, I have a couple of pictures of the tip of the sword, and I was trying to get the horse head, but I don't know if I got it in frame.
Yeah,
That's one I'll have to stack to pull out the detail.
Yeah, so M42 is the Orion Nebula, which is not there.
No, that's the horse head.
The flame and the Running Man. The Orion is beautiful, but you have to be careful when you're taking photographs of it, because the center core of it's really, really bright.
Mm-hmm.
Well, especially around the trapezium, because it's a reflective nebula, right? And so you need to take different types of exposures of it to get good shots. So
Almost
what
like
you
an
do is,
HDR.
no, well, you have to do a HDR rendering at the end, but it's not as simple as that. So you have to take short exposures to take the center, right? And then you take longer exposures to get more and more detail as you come out, and you do HDR, but you also have to do star masks and subtract the stars out of the center as you go out. So you take out the brightness of the center core. You have
Right.
to do star masks, remove them, and then you have to bring in the shorter exposures to replace them, because otherwise the center core will be blown out by the time you get to the detail on the outside.
Yeah. So you're basically fading the core out as you stack the further distant detail.
You're actually doing the opposite. As you go out further distance, your longer exposure on the outside to get fainter data. So you're blowing out the center. So you
Right, but so you have to remove that information is kind of what I meant. I don't always pick the right phrases to use.
Yeah,
it makes sense in my head though.
Yeah. So what you have to do is there's, like on a CCD chip, you have pixels, right? Imagine the pixels as buckets, right? And the light is filling that bucket. And the more light, the longer the exposure is, the more light goes into that bucket. And eventually that bucket fills up and it overflows into the next pixel. And that's what's called pixel bloom, right? That's why you get blowout in the center. You get pixel bloom. You oversaturate. That's why you reach over 255.
I figured they hit 255 and that was it.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it would bleed over into the adjacent pixels.
Yeah, that's called pixel bloom.
Okay, so that's a feature of the design then.
Yeah, and the way to get around that is because there's only so much data you can put into a bucket, right? So much water you can put in a bucket.
Yep.
So that's why you do the shorter exposure, and then you get longer, like the ones I did for the solar eclipse. I think you've seen them on here. I've shown them on the stream before.
So you kind of mask out the middle as you take the exposures for the outer edges.
You do exposure maps and star masks, and then you bring the stars back in later on. It's like when you're doing an image of a comet, right? You're doing an image of a comet. You do star mass and you subtract the stars out of the image, and you're tracking the comet, right? If you're tracking the comet, you ignore the stars because you need long exposure to get the comet, and then afterwards you bring the stars back into the image. After you stack all the images for the comet to get the detail, you bring the stars back into the image afterwards. That's how you process.
Yeah, people don't realize the amount of effort and work it takes to produce the images like the ones you have behind you.
Yeah, taking photographs is a science. Building the images after with the data is an art form. And you can make it look as great as you want or as bad as you want, and it can look really fantastic or really horrible based on how you handle the data and how you mix the data up later on. Like some people track comets and they leave the star trails, and that's nice, right? That has a nice effect. But not every to show it moving, but not everyone wants that. They want a detail in this trail with a fixed star behind it, and that requires taking the stars out of all of your images first. Stack your because you're tracking on a comet at that point. You stack or maybe you're not. Maybe you're tracking on a star, and then you stack all your images. You realign them all over each other to stack them, and then when they're all stacked, then you bring a star field back in. You pick one of the images as your star field. And then you take the comet out of that one, and then bring the stars back in and put it behind the comet. It's a lot of work. I have a server with 12 cores, 128 gig of memory, and about 4 terabytes of storage. No, 6 terabytes of storage for processing my astrophoto images. That's all it does.
Ouch.
That's all.
That is a machine.
That's a bad boy right there.
Reliant server. And all it's doing is stacking my images.
Well, what I was hoping when I showed you that, when I showed you the telescope earlier, is getting that stepper mounted on it, and the drive. I've actually used an ESP32 as the drive system for it with a step stick, and I was hoping to get fine control of my what is it, right ascension?
Yeah.
Trying to remember the terms. It's been a while.
Yeah, your RA is your tracking, your declination is up down.
Yeah, and I was trying to make that stable because when I took the Andromeda pictures, my battery would get cold and I would lose the tracking that I had off of that little DC motor.
There's a way to, what you do is you wrap the battery. You have to insulate the battery. You need to wrap it.
Yeah, but with what I have now, I don't have to worry about that.
Okay. What you
I
have now?
just haven't had the motivation to get it out and take pictures, and the Andromeda's gone now, so I might as well forget about that for a year.
Andromeda is setting now, correct? It's a fall and winter object. Mid to late fall, like around September time, it's visible after around 10 o'clock. 10, 11 o'clock comes up. And
when the sky was clear, it was too cold, and I didn't want to mess with it.
Yeah, now Orion is in a good spot, but now we're heading into galaxy time somewhat.
That was going to be my next question. What's out to look at now?
Globulars are big night right now, because right now at about 10 o'clock in the evening, you have Cygnus is up in the sky, so you have the Milky Way.
And I have managed to get some pictures of that, having the phone mounted to the telescope while it was tracking.
Yeah, but your tracking has to be precise. I use a very precise tracking system.
Oh yeah, yours is way better than mine. I mean, I have fine steps, but mine has so much slop in it, it's not even funny.
Well, that's down to the worm gear.
Yeah, and I might as well throw mine away.
You see what Lama says?
Yeah. He said that last time.
Last night, Lama. It's not
a broken record.
Flat, it's your head is flat. Last night we were on stream last night, and we changed Lama's name to Flathead Lama because he did the exact same statement last night. So
yeah, it was an interesting project because it's got touchscreen. It has a BME 280 for climate. I put a joystick on it with an analog board to do slewing.
Okay.
I built the interface, wrote all the code myself.
You need a gearbox for accuracy.
Yes, I know.
And
yes, I understand, Liam. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying what I have is perfect. I understand its limitations, but it was a very educational project while I was working on it.
And the cool thing about it is you can use it for visual. It's fantastic. Because you point at the target. If you're doing outreach with your neighbors or friends or family or whatever, you point at the target. You turn on your tracker, your sidereal, and just let it run, and it stays on target. Because once you have polar
if I can get polar alignment when I start, then I'm good.
I use a pole master for polar alignment.
Yeah, I've heard of that, and I can't remember much of the details about it.
A pole master is on your declination. The pole master goes in where your polar scope normally goes.
My mount's not new enough. Hang on, let me just walk down here, see if I can
blue tape.
See if I can drag the signal.
So I figured he'd appreciate the use of blue tape in a project.
He'll complain about it. You know he will. But
what are you breeding back there, Dan?
Uh-oh.
I'm currently taking a piece of cardboard and I'm taping it down to my table so I can then fire up my laser and make 6 perfect 4-inch holes in the cardboard. Then I'm going to take...
You're doing a template for coasters.
Then I'm going to put these lovely little wood coasters in there.
I knew that was
Copy the image over 6 times, and I'm going to make 6 beautiful little coasters. But yes, Liam,
there we go. Now I'm back.
Yeah, but
my screen froze up for a minute. I had to back out of the...
Sure. Yeah, I
know.
I know
the bag. Let me get my dust bag off of it.
But
see, that's all I have. It's just solid shaft.
Do you have a pole scope there? No.
What's that?
In the bottom of your azimuth, is there a pole scope in there? Do you know where the axis that points north? Is there a polar scope in there? No. in there?
No, it's a solid cap.
Okay, see where that cap is? A pole master will mount there, and you collect it to your computer, and you run your software, and it actually gets you precise pole alignment in about 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if everything's set up for it, but there's my little project box with the display and the little temperature and humidity sensor.
Sweet.
And then back here.
Oh, your stepper. Okay.
Yeah. So and you can see how janky that is.
Well,
but it gets the job done.
See the coupler that you have?
Yeah.
Replace it with a solid coupler.
Yeah, I did that in the beginning because the original bracket was bent aluminum plate.
Well, no. See those couplers with the lines through it? They're allowed to flex.
Yeah.
They're on the spring. That's a bad thing for what you want to do.
Well, you should see how much this thing wobbles on the worm gear. That flexes nothing.
Yeah. Well, you should be able to tighten that up. Open up the worm gear. You should be able to snug those together.
Yeah, there's.
And you need to bias your weight. You know that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you need to take the backlash out, I think.
No, it's not just backlash. There's going to be backlash no matter what. What you need to take out is you need to east bias your scope. So by east bias, I mean, are you watching the screen?
Yeah, I can see you. Okay.
By east bias, if you're pointing directly north, if you're okay, let's say you polar align your scope, and now I decide to point something over to my my east, right? What I want is I want the weight to be. I don't want perfect balance. I want it slightly biased so the weight is towards the east. So it's actually forcing the bit of weight down on top of on that worm gear. If it's perfectly balanced, it floats. You don't want it floating. So
and that will mess everything up because you'll get all kinds of wobble.
Well, but you get floating. You don't want floating. You want the east bias it so there's a little bit of weight pushing on the gear. So when the gear is actually moving it east to west, it's actually has the weight of it's a little bit of weight on the gear. So as it moves it actually has pressure on it at all times. Now, when you go to the other side, you move your scope down.
Okay, that's enough.
So it's west. It's biased the other way. So it's always holding the weight up. You need to do that.
So you want the worm gear always pulling against the direction of travel.
You want the weight on the worm gear, so it's pushing in one direction. It's pushing at all times. It's never pulling. It's always pushing a little bit.
Yeah, that's the camera mount that I'm using.
Yeah, I've used those.
Yeah, it works pretty good.
Yep. So what do you show us the closest you're burning, Dan?
Yeah.
Sorry, we've nerded out enough.
Well, let me see if I can
the fire.
Figure out how to get back where I was here.
Now let's see if they'll come off there easily, or if I might have to fight
them. Are you taping them down? You shouldn't have to tape them down.
No, I'm using tape to see if I can just pop them out after they're done. They're not done. I got to run it again.
Oh,
they
yeah.
Cut all the way through.
Well, you should tape one corner of it. That way then you get no shift.
Get out of here with your common sense.
Guys, I'm going to have to drop out. It's getting right up on bedtime around here, and I got to get the youngin' moving.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, good to see you, man.
Joining us.
Y'all take care.
Take care, man.
How the hell?
What's happening, Dan? Make that image full screen so we can see what's going on. I disagree.
It's not cutting in the same spot the second time. Somehow the head got bumped or moved. I blame Liam. So now
what you do is
at least it's not me.
What you do is you turn around and you slow down the burn, right? And redo it again. Because don't go. What percentage is your power?
60.
That's okay. So don't slow down the actual engraving. so you get the burn done in one pass instead of two.
Yeah, well, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm just saying that's how you fix it.
It's fine. We'll get there. It's fine. I'll burn in the desk. It'll be good.
Going to bed?
What's the point in building this fancy desk if I can't burn it with a laser a few times, right?
Oh yeah.
Most definitely.
Gotta have some fun with your stuff.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm just saying that's what you do is when you drop the part in there, if you find the first burn is not burning enough, just slow it down, but don't up the percentage too much.
I'm not upping anything. I just restarted it. And all of them, the second go around, are off from the first one. So at some point, the head got moved.
Something shifted. Well, yeah. Did you rehome it?
I have to run them again anyway. It's fine. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm ADD. I don't pay attention. I just do stuff.
We weren't paying attention either. So, see, this is why I like my CO2. I can do that in one pass.
That's why I can't wait to get my CO2, and then I can do that in one pass.
Yeah, buy it out of the guys. Buy it from the guys in California because you get a warranty with it for the first 12 months.
I'm buying it off of eBay because I got eBay money. I don't have California money.
Here the problem is off eBay you get no guarantee. If it arrives bad, it's on you.
No. If it arrives eBay, you file a claim against eBay, or you file a claim with eBay, and then eBay takes care of the problem for you. Because again, eBay is one of those customers that's or it's one of those companies that's like.
You see what Dan was saying? He said you did a Dan on it.
Yep, I damned it.
Did a Dan.
It's better than doing a Justin or a Llama. At least what I'm doing, nothing's caught on fire yet.
You see what old curmudgeon said?
And I'm working with a laser, damn it, and I still haven't caught anything on fire.
Have you not?
What's the fun in that?
I'm just saying.
Did you not? Did you not burn yourself on the laser yet? No burns from the laser. No, I mean you getting burned.
Knocking on wood here. Knocking on wood. Hello.
Chris said, "Quick, giving away $25 gift cards, and you can get your K40."
Hey, Chris Travis, shut the hell up. If you were fast enough, you'd have got the $25 gift card, and you wouldn't be complaining right now, would you? Okay. Now, because everything's shifted, and I know it's not right, I'm going to make Liam happy. I already cut through it once. I'm not changing shit. I'm restarting it. Pardon my sentence enhancer. It's all Liam's fault. He gets me all worked up.
Good.
I'm restarting it as it is. I'm restarting it. I'm going to look though and make sure that it's cutting in the same spot this time.
Well, you're probably bumping the table, and that could be doing it.
The problem is this thing is solid mounted to the wall, and there's no like bump it and shift.
No, the vibration of you bumping the table will vibrate. And if it's not moving the print head, it's moving the.
I'm finding that my lasers movements are not very accurate. Maybe I need an auteur.
Well, why don't you turn around and calibrate your XY axis? You can do that. The same as you do with an ordinary printer, you can do that with a laser as well.
Or I could just order an auteur. I'm trying to find an excuse to buy a new laser, Liam. Shush.
Well, that's between you and your boss.
Yeah, well, the boss will let me buy things. The general public quits telling her otherwise, so stop it.
Take care, Llama.
Bye, Llama.
See you later, Llama.
Yeah, so you can optimize the X and Y axis travel. So if it's off, same as you do your E steps, you can do something similar on a laser. Depending on the control board, obviously, but I'm assuming it's a GRBL or something like that board. And if it is, it's programmable, and you could program it through the UI like you can with a 3D printer. The commands are a little different. They're using S commands instead of M commands and stuff. So it's a little different, but it works. It's like with my CNC. I did the XYZ on my CNC, and I calibrated it to make sure it's precise movement.
You did the what to the what?
The what to the what? Yeah, I did that too. Yeah,
You said you calibrated your XYZ on your CNC. I thought you'd repeat
I did.
that
Yeah,
again.
I can spell. You see, X, Y, Z, Z, and C. I can spell.
I just get a kick out of the whole like I calibrated my XYZ on my CNC. It's a bit of a
If we put a
rhyme.
beat, we could make music.
I think the thing I didn't know is when I ordered that stepper motor for
Yep.
the extruder,
Mhm.
the extruder motor is actually a little bit bigger than the X, Y, and Z motors.
That shouldn't matter that much. Well, the reason why they put a bigger extruder motor on it is the extruder motor is always very busy. It's always putting pressure, which is why they put a larger motor in there.
But see, the one that I got in at first was the one for I'll get it here. It's from Corral. It's from the it's for the X, Y, and Z. I didn't pay any attention to it.
Oh,
second-
so it's underpowered, maybe. Maybe you're
second
not
one-
putting enough power in it.
The second one I just ordered is the E-axis motor from Creality. Hold on, I'll get it.
Yeah, so they always have a larger stepper on, most times on the E, because the E is constantly putting pressure and it needs that torque. But Mylan, yeah. So
I
what
just
you will
never
have
had
to,
replaced anything before. 'Cause that's
when you
novel.
replace this, you will have to recalibrate your E steps,
Okay.
because even if it's the same manufacturer and the same model number and everything, there's going to be a difference between them. Like the gear is never always going to be the exact same. The rotation is never going to be precisely the same. So you will have to recalibrate your E steps. It's not hard to do, but you'll have to redo it.
Yeah, this is for the X, Y, and Z here.
Yeah, it's
So,
a baby stepper. This is a smaller stepper
Yeah.
motor. Yeah.
Yeah. So I ordered the correct one today. I mean, the other three are running, but it was kind of weird what it was doing. I kept trying to extrude filament and that was coming out. I'm getting on the light and I'm looking back there and little motors just turning. What's happening? But one thing I did notice about that stepper on the extruder, how normally on the extruder you have the little shaft sticking up where you can put on your own little extruder knob. It doesn't have that. It's like it's been pressed all the way down inside there.
Now, the other thing you need to do is, did you check? I'm trying to figure out how to say this right. Did you take one of the other stepper motors and take out the extruder and plug in a different stepper motor in there and power it up to make sure it moves? The other stepper motor moves.
No, I didn't do that.
You have a spare one there, right?
Here.
You have a spare one there.
I take this one and plug it in there.
I would heat up the hot end. I would plug that in and I would try and extrude and just see if the motor turns. Because if it does, then you know it's a stepper motor. Because if it doesn't, you could have a bad cable to your stepper motor. It could be a bad stepper motor, or it could be a bad stepper controller on the board. That means the board has to be replaced.
Okay.
So take that one, plug it in, heat up the hot end to 200 degrees, plug that in with nothing else on it, no extruder, no nothing set up, just plug it into the board and try and extrude and see if it turns. And if it does, then you know your board is good.
Okay. I'll get on that tomorrow.
Because I had a problem where my Z was not moving on one of my printers.
Yeah.
And I went through the process of troubleshooting. You switch stuff out to see if they move. What's wrong with your head? What, Dan? You're going?
Yeah.
You can speak. It's okay. You have permission.
I didn't want to interrupt the story. I figured it would be easier for me to go, this guy, this guy, going to walk his little back end. See, I caught myself that time. Walk his little back end out. Bye-bye.
Take care, Dan.
Anyway,
all right,
gentlemen,
see you later,
have a wonderful evening. Talk to you guys later.
Ciao.
And
Have a good one.
Mylan, please don't let him corrupt you too much into the ways of only Liam.
Don't
Remember
give
that
him
Okay.
bad info.
there are other ways out there. There's Liam's way, and there's my way, and there's Llama's way. But with Llama's way, you always need this. If you don't have this, it's never going to work.
Yeah. Well,
On that note,
with the one thing you're forgetting about Llama's way, that the blue tape is not for fixing the problem; it's for Llama's mouth.
but on that note, gentlemen, have a wonderful evening. Talk to you
Take
guys
care.
later.
All right, have a good night, Dan.
Yeah. So Dominic made a good point, and you should anything in the filament pack you have to redo your steps. If you change anything like a gear or anything like that, like the feeder gear or anything, but part of troubleshooting is always find something else you know is working, like a stepper, like a stepper motor, and plug it into the one that's not working to see if it moves. Now, the extruder, you have to heat the hot end before it will turn, right? It's a fail-safe, it won't extrude when there's nothing there, when there's no temperature. But swap the motors around and see if you hit go, see if it turns, the other one moves. And if it does, then you know the motor was bad. If it doesn't, it's either the cable or the board.
Okay.
And I had my Z not working once on one of my printers, and I went through the process, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get it working. But I knew the motor was working because I took the stepper, I plugged it in elsewhere, and it worked elsewhere. So I knew it wasn't a motor. I knew, and so you could take your existing one that you have worked that you think is faulty, and plug the cable on the main board, switch the cables to the Y-axis or something like that, and then move your Y-axis. And if that motor turns, then you know the motor is good. And if that is the case, it's the board or the cable going from the board to the motor.
Okay. I'll get on that tomorrow.
Yeah, process of elimination. You have to go through that because you could be buying a new stepper, and the new stepper could be fine. Your board could be bad, and if your machine is less than a year old, you could probably claim it under warranty.
Okay.
But if it's not 12 months old, or even if it's very close to it, you might just turn around and buy an upgraded board for it that has silent steppers.
Yeah, I was gonna get the Victory Tech SKR Mini V2. I just haven't done it yet.
You mean one of these?
Yeah, I'll be one of those.
Yeah, that's the E3 V2. Yeah, but this is going into my laser. I'm going to use this as a controller for my laser.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to buy one. Buy like one a month. Switch out in 4 months. Switch out all 4 printers. Buy like one a month. So, but if it's something else, then I have 2 extra motors sitting around. One for the extruder.
What I'd do is I wouldn't do that. I would hold on to. I'd have a board there in case I needed one, maybe. And if one gives problems, switch it out. But otherwise, don't. Because why switch it out if it's working, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, if something goes wrong with it, I mean, eventually they'll all have those boards in it, but I'm not going to start switching them all out now. I mean, I've only been running the printers for about 6 months now. Yeah,
and Noel Curmudgeon makes a good point. But I wouldn't use blue tape because tape is made of paper and a papery substance, and paper is an insulator, so it'll actually slow down heat transfer. I would actually use aluminum foil to do that leveling of my glass plate. If you have a dip in the center, put aluminum foil or 1 or 2 sheets of a small piece of aluminum foil to raise the bed over tape, because aluminum will transfer the heat better than the blue tape will. You're thinking about it. You're thinking still. Because your glass beds are never perfectly flat. Sometimes there's a rise in the center, sometimes there's a dip in the center, and so on, right? So if it's low in the center, you put 1 or 2 layers of aluminum foil underneath it. That will actually raise the center of the bed up to get it flush with the rest of the bed. And that way, then you get the bow out of your bed, and therefore, when you're printing and you level your corners, the center, when you do the tramming of the center, you actually your tram hole is good because they're all at the same plane. You have no dips in your beds, no?
I don't have any dips in mine. I got glass beds on mine.
You can still get dips in the glass beds.
No, I've heard that, but mine are all good for right now. So
yeah. And guys, if anyone wants to come in and join the conversation, the link is in chat. You can click on it. Just mute your YouTube before you come in. But you can click on that link, come in and join the conversation if you want to. But yeah, so I prefer aluminum foil for getting those dips out of beds. It actually has a better effect. Hey Jerry, I'm sure you've been busy. I know you had a good stream. The link is in chat if you want to come in and join, Jerry. You're always welcome. You know that.
hey, Jerry.
But yeah, so that's how I would do it. But try your stepper tomorrow. Plug it into the Y-axis. Unplug the Y, plug it into the Y, and turn the printer on and try and move Y and see if it moves. If the motor rotates, the motor is good. Then it's probably the cable or the board. So you may not need to order a new stepper. You can cancel that order if you don't need it, and just go order the new order. Then if it's the cable, switch the cable for the X-axis or for the extruder or whichever one you want on the main board. So now you're testing from the board to the cable and the stepper. If the stepper moves and it's on a different port on the board, then you know the port has gone bad.
Okay. Yeah, because anything that man makes is going to fail at any given point in time.
Unless it was built for space and they last a long time.
Yeah, that lasts a long time then.
Like
so
look at the Voyager spacecraft. 43 years this year, or no, 42 years this year in space, and after 42 years, it's still working. I love that had a foil hat, Jerry.
You were just talking about tinfoil when I turned it on, so I figured let's get a tinfoil hat.
Well, that explains a lot, Jerry.
That's how big my head is. That's faster than 3D printing right there.
Yep.
Why 3D print when you can tinfoil? You get ready for the aliens.
You already made a mold of his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still taking care of stuff from the stream. I got done, went and talked to the wife for a minute, and then I'm answering people here and sending this and that. Yeah, that was really cool that Sandra won that. So she won.
I don't know Sandra. I've never seen her in streams before.
I have no idea who she was, but I hope she gets it and enjoys it and can use it.
Yeah, the Tinfoil Hat Club. That's Jerry. Jerry's the president.
I've never ever put tinfoil on my head before, but they were talking about it. So what the hell?
Well, you have now, and it's documented.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't deny it now, Jerry.
I think we're going to take we're going to get a screenshot of that and blow it up. I'll grab it out of the recording. I got it. And then what we'll do is we'll send a picture of it to the Flat Earth Society and say, "Can I be a member?"
Yeah, I don't know what's up with my Frozen Mighty 4K. I mean, when I first got it, I had failure after failure. I tried a lot of different resins, stock settings that are made for the printer, and then things got better, and it magically just started working beautifully. And then I was on Strytech resin. It's perfect. And then I had 3D Resin Solutions sends me out 3 bottles. They don't have any specific profiles for that printer, so I'm using what I normally use in Cheetah Box, and I have failure after failure after failure. Overnight, I'm working on I'm testing a spawn model for 3D Figure Prints Patreon, and I printed a whole bed of spawn parts. I wake up this morning, and I have a lot of supports. The model's not there. It's gone. I pulled off the supports. So it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I just took a quick picture of it. I don't want to film any video and get dressed real quick. I'm in my underwear. So I cleaned it all out. I dumped Strytech resin in it with Tenacious in it. Went back to bed, woke up. It's perfect. Beautiful prints. Not one problem. I don't know. No idea. And I've just contacted Anycubic. I would like to try out the Anycubic Mono X, which is a large format resin printer, and put that up against this one. A lot of people said, well, you should have bought that instead of this. Well, shoulda, coulda, woulda, $500 later, I didn't. And, this is what I got, so this is what I'm working with.
Yeah.
So they're going to send you one?
What?
Are they going to send you one so you can do a comparison?
Oh, I don't know. We haven't discussed it. I doubt they're going to send me one. They may give me a discount. I don't know yet. I just messaged somebody about it, so we'll see where it goes. I don't know yet.
Oh, for those who do not know, Spring with G-Tech. Her last day with G-Tech is this weekend. Her last stream is with Sam.
Yeah, it's Saturday morning.
It's Sunday morning, isn't it?
I think it's Saturday.
Okay, but that's her last stream. She's actually finishing up with the company. She's leaving. So, so a lot of people on here do know her because they're on the similar streams with us, but they may not have known that she's actually leaving the company.
Has she announced it, or are you announcing it for her?
She announced it on her own people who are friends with her, like who follow her personally. So she's actually went out there and announced it now.
And I thought about doing everything in green like you did. Now I'll just leave it in blue. I love blue. But I thought about putting all the banners in green today.
I just decided to do it because of the day it is.
Oh, I just heard on the news a little bit ago they're opening up COVID next week here in Nevada for everybody.
Yeah, they're doing it in Michigan as well for anyone over 16.
So my wife will hopefully try to get an appointment at Walmart soon.
I've got mine already. I got my first shot already.
Yeah, my wife's like, we should have waited till I got mine. I get it when I can get it. You know, she's younger than I am, so.
Yeah, so I got my first one. My next one is on the 14th of next month. 4 weeks before.
My doctor's coming to me, so they don't want me traveling. I'm highly susceptible.
You're just spoiled. You're just spoiled. They come to me. This is him boasting over there in the corner.
Look, I'd rather have to work hard to get it than be stuck in his dang chair. No, they just don't want me to travel. It'd be bad for me. It'd be real bad for me if I caught it. So they come to me like my aides and nurses do. So kind of sucks because it stops me from getting out of the house.
Yeah. Well, still, he's over there boasting. My doctor comes to me. Listen to that crap.
Okay,
we have to give you a hard time. We don't give you a hard time enough, so it's your turn, right?
Oh, I know.
What do you think, Jerry?
Now on is what I'll do.
I'm reading Facebook. I don't even see you guys right now.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, what'd you say?
I'm saying we have to give Mylan a hard time. We don't give him a hard time enough. It's his turn.
Well, has he fell asleep in your stream yet?
No, but I kept.
I was concerned he was going to fall out of his chair. Yeah, he had taken some medication, and we were talking, and he just started doing this. And I'm actually yelling in my microphone at him, and eventually he kind of perked back up. And then I think he said something, and he started doing it again, so I had to just dump him on the stream. It's like, I know he's going to be okay, but I was just yelling at him in the microphone.
Really, Mylan?
Yes, if you take powerful medication, do not take it before getting on a live stream.
He was just like this, and then he just started going out. Yeah.
I'm sorry I missed that one.
Yeah, I'm never going to live that one down.
I'm glad you were okay.
Jerry told me to go back and watch it. I couldn't go back. I was like, no.
No, Jerry, you should download that image, crop out that one piece, and send it to him.
Yeah, go back and watch it. You'll see that I literally was concerned, but I and then you kind of pop back up. So like, okay, it's probably his medication.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it was.
Do you have is there some kind of a seatbelt or something so you can't fall out of your chair?
Yeah, I got a seatbelt and I got a chest strap. So it stays on because it's happened before. So, I mean, I haven't fallen out, but I'll nod off. You know, my aide will come and wake me up. She's like, "Are you strapped in?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm always strapped in."
No, what you do is you need to wear a fleece jacket and line the back of your chair with Velcro.
Hey, your dog comes over and starts licking your face and like, "Oh no, you just came from outside and you've been eating kitty, haven't you?"
Yeah,
What will we do? We'll buy him a strip of Velcro and a fleece jacket so he can Velcro himself in the chair and fall asleep whenever he wants.
Yeah, then I can't get away from the dog. He's been eating cats outside.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, he likes to give me kisses. Oh my God, make my eyes water.
Yeah, when Trevor contacted me, he wanted to donate the printer to me. And I thought a long time ago that I ever get new versions of certain printers, I can upgrade myself and then get rid of the older version. But I'm like, you know what? I have it. I don't use most of my printers that much. I'll just give it away in the stream. Somebody else can hopefully get it that will really need it, not have 15 or 16 printers.
Mm-hmm.
And if it would have been a big Delta or something, I would have went ahead and said, sure, mail it to me. But I really don't need another Ender 3v2, so I figured let's give it to somebody that hopefully can use it, and I might get more subscribers and comments and likes out of it. So
yeah.
Well,
I like as I said, I give away printers.
take care, Chris.
See you later, Chris.
Yeah, I give I donate printers to schools and stuff like that. I offer it to people like to places who would use it like that, you know, because they don't often get, like, especially in some areas, they don't get access to that kind of stuff on a regular basis.
I would ask if you write it off, but if you don't have enough write-offs, that's a waste of time.
I don't write it off because they're given to me, so I don't even claim them.
Yeah.
So I can't claim I didn't buy them. So
if you done a video on them, technically they weren't given to you because you had to spend a lot of time reviewing them, make the video, all that other stuff.
But still, I don't use them as write-offs or anything. I just ask them would they use one if they have an engineering or mechanical or design class or anything like that would use it. And if they do, here I'll show you how to use it. You know.
For many years, I paid extra on TurboTax, and I try to itemize. And whenever I'm done, every single year, I always take the standard deduction for two people. It's always more than what I itemize. I can come up with $12,000-$13,000 worth of stuff every year, and the standard deduction is like $24,500, I think it is.
Yep.
And I'd always have to take it. So I've been paying way too much for TurboTax. So itemizing is a waste of time for most people.
It is. It only pays off when you're running for when you have a business, or if you have a home-based office where you have to invest a lot of money in maintaining.
Yeah, invest a lot of money, but it still have to meet their limit.
Yeah.
I gotta go grab another battery.
Sure. Oh. Yeah, most people never need to itemize. You only people who would itemize would be you, Mylan, if you needed to pay for a new chair and stuff like that. That would make sense.
$50,000.
Right? That's where you would itemize. Because that's a huge expense. And it's worthwhile calling it out.
The VA and Medicare pays for my chair. So
I'm just saying, if something like that, though, if there's money out of pocket, then that would make sense.
This chair here is $100,000.
Yeah.
So if you had to buy that out of your pocket, it's going to cost you, and then the repairs on it and everything else. So. And
I'm sure that the yearly, maybe bi-yearly maintenance on it as well that has to be done for maintaining it, and tires.
They come out twice a year. They come out twice a year, mandatory. But if my tires go bald, I mean, right now I got a broken calf pad on the left side, so they're ordering another one of those. And people don't understand how expensive it is. The coverings, I have some coverings back behind my arms here, my elbow rest. The coverings that go on those pads, it's just a little mesh woven material with a little string through it. The covering that goes over that pad is $280 for one.
Yeah.
And medical, they're ripping people off bad.
Oh yeah, they're expensive, but that's where itemization makes sense, you know. Yeah. I wouldn't use itemization for most things, but for some stuff like that, that would make sense. Or like as I said, if you have a home office and you have to buy office furniture for your home office, and you had to buy your own computer and your own laptop, and you had to pay for your own cell phone for a private home, for your own home office. They makes the world of sense, because a cell phone's $1,000, right? For an actual, just to buy the phone, if you're going to buy it outright. Like a desk is $500.
Newbie, did you watch my live stream earlier?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I gave you a shout out in the beginning. Thank you for that $5 on PayPal. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't catch you in the beginning, so but no problem.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I was in here chatting, but I had your stream on the other machine, on my other computer. I was watching your stream. I liked it, everything, because you're always in my streams. We help each other out, so it's we have to do. That's how we support each other, right? And we give each other a hard time, so that's always fun. But tonight we're going to give Mylan a hard time because we can. Just because
it's fine, I'll take it.
Okay.
It's been a boring day anyway, so.
Yeah, but I still like that Velcro idea.
Yeah, Newbie goes out in public and he falls asleep somewhere, and then he wakes up and he's sitting up on bricks and somebody took his tires. You gotta be careful.
Actually,
you'll get jacked. Don't fall asleep in public.
I had a friend of mine that was in a chair, and he always fell asleep in his chair after being out at a bar, and it was good because so many people knew him. They'd wheel him home. You just let him sleep there. They wouldn't even wake him. They just push him home is what they do because the place he went to, he was a regular. So someone would push him home or they'd put him in a taxi to send him home. And he always had one taxi driver he used to use all the time because he had a van that was adapted for chairs. So the taxi driver would just pick him up and put him in the back, drive him home, and pick him up and wheel him up to his door and knock on the door for his mom to open the door to let him in.
Did you see what Chris Taylor, today's 3D print in East did? He took I'm not sure if they're called hover rounds or what they're called. They're chairs, maybe something similar to what you have. He hooked it up to his trailer. He has a remote control to back his little trailer up. He just hooks it on the hitch and that drives it and backs his trailer up.
No, I didn't see that.
I didn't see that.
I subscribe to him and stuff. I don't always jump onto his streams, but I do subscribe to his stuff. I have to go back and look. That sounds like a good idea, actually.
Yeah, he live streams 2 or 3 times a week constantly for 3, 4,
well,
5
that's
hours.
all he does, though. He doesn't.
That's his full time. That's his income. That's his full time job.
Yeah, that and do some 3D printing and other so small stuff like that is what he does.
Yeah.
So when you can do that, then you have the time to do it. I don't have time to do it 3 times a week. I can just about do 2, and maybe 3 if there's an unboxing. It's worthwhile to do a third in a week, but other than that, it's a lot of work to get there. So, and with a full-time job, it's kind of hard to get the time to do that. Mm-hmm. It's hard. But I probably have some printers on their way to me in the next couple of weeks. But I also have that build plate coming that requires me that they want me to test. The one I called out the other day, remember?
No, I don't. A build plate, is it?
It's let me get the name of the company. He reached out to me on Facebook and asked me if well, I kind of touched base with them initially. It is, let me get the name. Let me get a picture of it so I get the name off it to make sure I don't lie to you. Come on, update. Facebook is playing up to right now. Give me a second. Let me refresh.
Ice cream truck out front going by.
Well, that sounds weird to me because it's in the middle of the night here.
Yeah, they come by late at night sometimes.
Really?
His truck is barely running. I've told him, dude, you need to tune this truck up. It's going to die on you. It's barely running.
Where's he? Okay, there he is. Let me get the name of the build plate. It's called. Let me zoom in here.
Now, somebody made a comment on my video that you need to get away from those flexible build plates and those resin printers. Why? There's nothing wrong with them. They work great. They work great on FDM. They work great on resin. I do not
like them. It's
There's no reason not to like them.
Well, it's a MemorBot is the name of the company, MemorBot, and they make build plates, and they're not flexible. It's a solid build plate, I believe, but they make build plates, and apparently, this one feels like orange peel is what they say, and it's supposed to be great for adhesion for all type of material, and once it cools down, it's fantastic release apparently.
Yeah, that's like the ones that I have now from TH3D, but the ones for resin don't have it. They're not textured. They're just
metal.
Steel.
Yeah,
they're just straight metal. And because you have that 3M coating, like Naomi Wu did, I don't know if she had it in water or alcohol. You never take your build surface and throw it in your IPA to clean it. Just wipe it off with a blue paper towel and keep reusing it because you don't want that alcohol to eat away that 3M sticker, that adhesive.
On which on the magnetic bed?
Yeah, on the resin printer.
If you're doing it on the if you're printing straight onto the raw build plate, that's fine because
it's all aluminum. That's fine.
Yeah,
but if she had a removable build plate on it that she popped off and she put it and cleaned it, and you can't do that. It's going to eat up that glue, and there's no reason to do it anyway. I mean, I just wipe down and keep printing. No reason.
I agree. But if it's the magnetic part of the plate, that doesn't matter because as long as it's not coated with anything, you're fine with that. It's the adhesive pad is the problem. Is the one you're concerned about, and I agree with you. That there's
the adhesive backing, which is on the frame of it that you tighten up.
That will cause problems in time. So the VA is always done well for me. That's why I'm both patient and volunteer. I've done stuff with the VA in the past, not a lot. I've done some work with them. I'm thinking about getting more involved in that 3D printed hand. I've done some in the past, but I'm actually thinking about getting more involved in that. That's a cool project. What do you think?
Yeah, doing something with the VA, yeah.
Well, not the VA, but the 3D printed hands. You know that one, Jerry?
No.
You can actually 3D print a hand for someone who's got a wrist.
Yeah.
And what they do is they bend their wrist because they have the wrist part. And by bending their wrist, the hand close. So they can pick stuff up with a 3D printed hand.
If it was printed and given to an individual, not just to some company, they're going to throw it in a box and they actually got it. And
it does go to people. It actually does go to people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they and there's lots of people all over the world who need these, right? Because they're born with a hand missing. So you print a left and a right hand version. One will go to one person, one will go to the other in most cases. And it only works if you have the wrist part, because you have to be able to bend the wrist to cause the tension on the strings to close the fingers, But they do work. Well, in my job, we did an event about a couple of years ago, and during that event, they brought in all the parts for the 3D printed hand, and we sat there and assembled them. We spent a day sitting there and assembling them. We assembled something like 800 or 900 of them in the space of a day. So we assembled a lot of them that day. That was a good event.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be a good event.
Yeah, it was fun, and we learned how to assemble it. And after that, I've done my own. I did. There's one that looks like the Iron Man's hand that you can 3D print. So it's actually the same color, and you paint it gold and red. And I've done that for one. I've done one of those. It was kind of fun.
That's pretty cool.
Alrighty. Well, I need to move on and get other stuff done around the house here. So
yeah, well, we'll be wrapping up here shortly anyway, because it is almost it's 9:34. By 10 o'clock at the latest, I'll be wrapping up, because I'm up at 4:15 in the morning.
Yeah, 6:30 here. I'll probably go to bed about 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, because I got to get ready to take medication, and we know what happens
when
I
take
medication.
You have to tell me which one that was. I want to go back and watch that, Jerry.
Yeah, newbie, you ought to set up your cell phone to tape you. Set it down, take your medicine, do whatever you normally do, and then if you conk out and wake up, later you can rewatch it to see what happened.
Or you can go back and watch
it. Somebody else. I'll have to give it to somebody else to watch.
My wife says I snore like a freight train. I have no idea. I've never taped myself.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. No, the worst is when and I haven't done it, but if you, I've heard of people who snore so loud that they wake themselves up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a snorer, not really. Like if I have a cold or whatever, it's different.
I don't think I snore, but that's what she says, so I don't know.
Sure, Dominic, if you can send me, ping me on Facebook. I believe you have me on Facebook. Ping me there, and I can send you on the information for that project. And you can actually download the STL files for doing this, and they have a variety of different styles and shapes and sizes and so on. They give you information out there. So send me a message on Facebook, through Astroprinter, and I will return back to you with the information for that project. No problem. Or you can always go look at the GTech live stream that was last week with Spring, because the person who is actually one of the coordinators for that project was on that, and she gives out all the links and everything. It's all part of the stream, but they have all the information there too.
Did my video look blurrier? My wife said I look blurry.
I have to admit, I wasn't paying an awful lot of attention because I was kind of doing too.
Okay.
I was glancing over. I didn't from glancing, but maybe I'm.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
I'm mistaken.
have an overhead light on now. I had that off. I was in a complete darkness and had a ring light on. I changed my lighting. I have a box light that beams down on me, but then I taped the ring light to the pole, and I had different lighting. So I'm just trying to improve my lighting without spending more money. There's some really cool lights on Amazon that are professional looking, but they don't run on USB or they plug in. They're only batteries, and I don't want to pay $150 for something that takes batteries.
Yeah,
you know, I
yeah,
plug it in.
T-Tech.
Yeah, you end up spending more money on batteries than a lawnmower.
The other day with if you want not grilling me on what I'm doing printer right. Well, we have to grill somebody.
Well, you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you for having me on for a couple minutes, and I'll do a hangout in a couple days. Take care, guys.
All right, have a
Take
good one,
care.
Gary.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So I made you feel bad. Not really. Okay.
Yeah. All right, well, buddy,
Well,
I'm gonna go.
We always give people a hard time for not using their printers.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to wrap it up because mine is getting ready. Unless somebody else wants to jump in. Oh, Pets is jumping in. Dave.
How you doing, Liam?
Good. I think Martin's about to leave. Are you?
I'll keep talking on the computer, but I'm gonna take
What are you guys doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm trying to keep out of trouble. I'm not succeeding. Take care, man.
All right,
But
take care.
What are you printing there, Dave?
I'm trying out my new PetsFang direct drive. This is a brand new direct drive that I built, and I'm printing Pet G on it right now.
Nice.
So it does. Let me see if I can get a light on it. Yeah, it's just it's a direct drive setup that I designed. There's a lot of people that wanted. That's called the Blockhead, and it's a really high efficiency plenum duct system.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So yeah,
I may get
Are you were just getting ready to shut down?
Well, no, I was going to do around 10 o'clock as normal for me anyway. So, but I was I might talk to you about my Artist-D. Now, the issue with the Artist-D is it's an IDEX, so there's no room on each side for a fan. The fan has to be front mounted.
Okay.
But because on an IDEX machine, the heads come out and they move close to each other sometimes.
Yeah.
So you can't mount stuff really on the side. There is a fan on the side right now, but the problem with it is it's a direct drive, and there's no real play in there when the fans are printing. Nice.
Look at the Pet G.
Yeah, I love Pet G.
Pet G at 3.3 millimeter layer height. It's just like glass. It just really came out nice.
Yeah. Very nice.
All I need on that IDEX is just some drawings of the.
There's no plate.
There's no plate at all.
It's a box, and in that box is your extruder, your fan, your everything is in that one box that's mounted on a small plate that's stuck to a small little plate. The box is bigger. That's mounted onto a linear rail.
Okay.
There's almost nothing there.
Are there any mounting points on the unit itself?
If you take off the existing fan, you could use where that screws on as a mounting point.
Well, take some pictures of it and send them to me.
I might be able to do better. I'm going to ask Bill Gaw, if he will send me the CAD drawing for the print head.
Yeah, that would work.
Now, it does have a left and right print head.
Sure. But you can just just mirror them.
It should be fine mirroring, yeah.
That's what I found out on GTEx. If I take the Creality fans that I build and I just mirror them, they fit on the GTEx backplate.
Not that I don't, but it won't be one of Dave's pet fangs. We need. I need to. I'd like to get the CAD drawings of the print head and its mountings off Bill, and just send the CAD file to Dave and let Dave work on it.
Yeah.
That'd be the best way to do it. Because it has cooling. It's kind of weird. The cooling comes in behind, underneath. Is it from behind or no? It's the side. My Guido comes in from behind.
You can come from behind.
Yeah.
If you've got more space there.
Yeah. You have to come in and come around, and as long as you can guide the air, it doesn't matter. So
exactly.
I mostly do PETG. So but for so far I've only printed PLA on that machine. I haven't gone PETG yet, but at some point I will. So I want to get, but for PLA, I need more cooling for PLA than I do for PETG.
Where in the hell's my fan? Okay.
Dave, you use Fusion, correct?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
So any step file will be fine, but I can. Step files are probably best. That's what I did a lot of work with like Micro Swiss and E3D.
Yeah.
And they just send me CAD files, step files.
Yeah.
Of their
I'll ask Bill if he can get me the step file of that whole assembly.
Yep.
Well, left and right.
Yep.
Because but you must remember, because they're IDEX, when they're in duplication mode and so on, or independent mode, it's not so bad. But when they're in mirror mode, they can come really close to each other in mirror mode.
Yeah, so I just need to know what those clearances are. That's pretty easy to figure out. You just bring them together and just measure clearances.
Well, no, if you bring them together manually, they will touch. It's all software driven.
Right. But if you take them to the extent of their travel, then you can give me a clearance.
Yeah. Have you ever used Onshape?
Yes.
What do you think of it?
I like it.
Yeah, I'm not a big CAD person. I have to admit, I use Fusion 360 more for slicing my tool paths for my CNC.
I started using Autodesk products back when they came out, like in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
So I worked with AutoCAD daily for a long time. So Fusion was pretty easy for me to pick up because all the functions are real similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never did CAD, so and as I said, the only time I really use it nowadays, I've used it for a few design stuff, but mostly what I use it for nowadays is generating tool paths for my CNC. It's very easy to do it.
Yeah, I used to design. I used to do all the shop drawings for moldings and air conditioning systems for large buildings.
Okay.
And then I would actually do the CAD renderings for large buildings. So they would give me a floor to work on, and then I would design that floor for. I would work with the architect and then design those floors. So, and then do all the mechanicals involved with it. So I had to design all the heating and air, the plumbing, the electrical, and then I would contract that out to other contractors that were doing the work. But I do all the CAD drawings for them.
Oh, Fusion never asked me about going paid ever.
They never asked you what?
Fusion never asked me about going paid. I signed up for the personal account, and it never asked me about going paid ever. He says it's annoying him, but they never asked me. I don't even get those emails.
I get the emails all the time, and I kept thinking it was because I have an account with them already, but I don't have a reason to use the 3D Fusion without because I do everything 2D when I was doing it professionally. So I don't really need it, but
yeah,
I would probably pay for it though. I would probably get one of the. They had I think it was $300 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty reasonable.
It's not bad, but like for what I use it for, it's not worth my while because I don't use any of those features. All the features are in the free. I use because I'm basically building toolpaths most of the time.
Well, I used to do a lot of CFD simulations when I built all my pets fangs, and now the CFD simulations I have to go off site because the free version of Fusion doesn't have the integration anymore. So I have to render everything outside and then pull it into another program to do all my CFD simulations, which is not a big deal because I used to do them all the time when I was at the doing the mechanical drawings for the heating and air guy. So
no, but as I said, I don't do any of that. For me, it's bringing an image, bringing an STL, orientated the way I want to set up the material, and then set up my tools, and then generate my series of toolpaths, the rough, define the more detailed ones, and it's really good for that, and it does a really good job of it. So
sure, and I think that's what most people use it for, isn't it?
Well, no, a lot of people use it for full design and stuff, but because I have a CNC, it's just easier for me to do that there. And it's not a hard process. It's the only thing you have to do is set up your tools, and once the tools are built, then they stay with you, right?
Right.
Then you're done, and then after that, it's just choosing the tool to do your first pass, which is a rough pass, to allow a bit of leftover, and then you do the next pass where you do a finer tool bit like a ball nose, and then you leave less or no leeway, no extra material, and then depending on what you're cutting and the type of tools you're using, like I've gone everywhere from a 3 mil or from 1/4 inch down to 0.5 millimeter ball nose for fine detail, or even a V-cut bit,
But they don't. Do they use STL files?
Yeah, you can bring in an STL there, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You have the option to import a mesh. So you just import your mesh, and then that's all you need to do. Then you set up your material type and your clearances you want around it, and so on, and that's it. So it's not hard to do. You can even bring in a mesh and modify the mesh inside. Now you are limited on the modifications, but you can modify. CNC is not. If you're CNC is not always an art, depending on what you're doing. Like if you're doing V groove engraving, V groove inlay, then it's very fine detail, right? Or if you're engraving a very fine, a very fine plaque, or whatever, there's a lot of. If you have the design, running it on a machine is not that hard as long as you know your abilities of the tools, right? The biggest issue is designing your design that you want to run on it. Other than that, it's not that hard.
Yeah, I've got my cousin works for John. My cousin works for John Deere, and that's what he does all day.
Design
works on CNC machine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so like running a CNC mill in a production environment is very different because you're down to minute tolerances. But when you're bringing an STL file and you're building paths, if you have the design, it's not that hard to do. The biggest thing you have to worry about is your cuts, your speed of your spindle, and your cut rate, and your depth per pass that you have to watch for. Some machines can go deep and do it in one run. Other machines, you have to nibble at them. Like on a 3018, you're taking 1 millimeter per layer off. And if it's 10 millimeters deep and you're going 10 millimeters deep, that's a lot of cutting, right?
That's a lot of cutting.
And like and that's especially if you're using a 3 millimeter bit, flat end mill to do the clearing. So I go up to a quarter mil if I need to do a lot of clearing. But and then you leave a little bit over, then you go over the smaller mill later on to fine tune it, like the last 0.3 of a millimeter or whatever, or half a millimeter. You use a smaller bit, so it's not as coarse when it gives you a nice finish at the end.
You ever work on a manual mill?
I've done manual mills, yeah. We actually did them in school.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. CO2 and CNC are solutions looking for a problem with me. Same as FTM. I just wanted them to. Well, I don't find that. I find I can get creative with a CO2. I can get creative with CNC. My dad was a carpenter, so working with wood and so on. It's like a heavy CNC is for metals, but when you're talking about dealing with wood, I'm pretty good with my hands when it comes to working with wood. If you want to add some fine carving detail, then the CNC is ideal for that. I just love, a plasma CNC.
Yeah.
So it's a plasma cutter then, not a CNC. You can't CNC material with a plasma. I'm assuming you mean plasma cutter, because a plasma cutter is great for cutting plate steel. That or a water jet is great for steel. A CNC is more about intricate detail. You can't do that with a plasma. Yeah, plasma is more of a cutting tool. You can't really use that for shaping, can you? I've never heard of it being used for shaping. Have you, Dave?
The curmudgeon there. Just get yourself a table, X and Y. It's just like a plotter.
I've never heard of one. So
the plasma cutters.
Oh yeah. Because there's no you have to have a Z on those though, because you have to lift up as you move to the next area to cut.
Crossfire plasmas, yeah, that's a good machine.
I've never used those, so I don't know. Actually, there's manufacturers coming out now with the lasers that we have, the diode lasers. There's actually some of them now are actually looking at coming out with a diode laser, because the problem with diode lasers was always focus point, because you had a fixed focus point. There's actually some of them now are coming out with diode lasers where you have Z movement on the laser head. So you can actually, so when you do a first burn pass and you want to go deeper, you're out of your focus point's already burnt, and you're anything below that focus point with a diode laser, the beam comes in at an angle, focus to a point, and then on the other side it splays out and widens again. So you get a Y a Y or an X-shaped cut. But if you can drop your diode down after each pass, the depth of the pass, you're always hitting focal point as you cut. So there's actually some of them are looking into that right now. You can jump back in, but we're about to wrap up because it's almost 10 o'clock and I'm up to 4:30 or 4:15 in the morning. And Dave's about to take a phone call.
Yeah, Ted.
I muted you. But yeah, so we're about to wrap up. If anyone has anything they want to cover at the last minute. You're muted, Dave. But thanks for everyone who did join, and I'm going to wait until Dave is finished before we say goodbye. But we're about to wrap up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to make sure you get notified about when I'm going live again. I do have some machines and some other stuff on their way, so please like, subscribe, and ding that bell so when I do the unboxing and so on, you get notified when they're happening. What's this school and 2 hour delay? Take care, Dave. Yeah, he has to go anyway. We're about to wrap up. Check out Jeremy Feeling on YouTube. Okay, I'll do that. But again, thank you for joining me tonight. It was fun as always. Slow start because of Jerry's stream, but that's okay. We should always give some love over there to Jerry. And please remember, like, subscribe, ding that bell. I will be doing a hangout again next Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Same time as I did, 7 p.m. Eastern. If my other machines that I'm expecting come in, I will set up streams. So if you subscribe and ding that bell, you'll get notified when those streams are happening. And remember, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay printing. Have a good weekend. Have a good rest of the week, sorry. And I hope to see you all next week. Thank you, and have a good night.